Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Monday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. Loaded up. A little different today because of, as the handsome update anchor there just said, we will have Ryan Day's comments in the third hour of our program. We will carry those for you live. So in order to make way for all of that, Austin is going to move up to 9:30. Very curious to know if he heard any whispers coming out of whatever happened on Saturday to see if we're inching closer to a quarterback decision at Ohio State. We'll blitz the weekend at 10 o'clock, 10:22 days in the NFC North. We will do the Packers. We will do the Vikings today. And then, as Reese mentioned in the update, Ryan Day live. We think it'll be around 11:15, 11:20, something like that. When he does reach the podium, we will take it. This could be, it'd be a little earlier than I potentially predicted, but today could be quarterback day. We'll find out by the time Day talks in the third hour of the program. You know, the quarterback thing got me thinking. I've been thinking about it a lot since Friday night with Sheduer Sanders and the way that he played for the Cleveland Browns. It's the most valuable, important position in all of sports. I think we all know that. If you have one, you have a chance. I mean, just think about that. There are 22 starters, offense and defense, that play football at every level, unless you're small school in some rural part of America and you play 8-man or 6-man. But for the most part, there's 22, right? But there's one that stands out above the rest. And if you have the one, then you have a chance. But there is also no sure thing in the quarterback position. There's no sure thing in evaluating them. There's no sure thing in signing them and curating them. You don't know what's going to happen once you get them on campus. You don't know what's going to happen when they get to the league. Sometimes every sterling thing that is known about a player is a high school player all the way up, and you get to the pros and it doesn't click, and nobody really knows why. And it's kind of the one thing, as we become smarter and smarter in sports, being able to identify talent and being able to say, yeah, this guy's going to hit, this guy's not going to hit. Quarterback's kind of the one that's still a little bit nebulous. There is still no certain way to be able to do it. And if you're looking for proof, you can look right here in town. The two kids who are competing for the starting quarterback job at Ohio State could not be more different in their upbringing, could but not be more different in the way that they were evaluated, could not be more different in the way that they got here. Be impossible to. Let's start with Lincoln Kienholz, 3-star quarterback, South Dakota, maybe one of the top 5 athletes in the country, was a 3-sport athlete out of South Dakota. He was a 3-star prospect. He was committed to Washington. During his senior year in South Dakota. And in December, flipped it here. Now, my hunch is that had something to do with the Quinn Ewers transfer, that's where that happened, where Ewers flipped, because I think they were supposed to be in the same class, but then Ewers reclassified early, and that kind of sent everything off. But Ohio State had to scramble, and they scrambled, and they landed Kienholz. And Ryan loves Kienholz, loves him as a prospect. Remember talking to him a couple years ago, loved him. And so he did not enroll early. He finished out his senior season of high school and played his senior season of baseball, and then came in here. And you know the rest from here. Has worked to be in this spot. Julian Sayin, conversely, you know the story there too. This is a guy who was number 1 quarterback in the country, or on a very short list. He was a 5-star prospect. Ohio State was in on him in recruiting the whole way, but he wanted to play for Coach Saban in what most people down there thought would be the final quarterback Coach Saban signed. Think about that. That was the expectation, that he would be the last quarterback to play for Nick Saban at Alabama. Nick Saban has a change of heart in January, and all of a sudden Julian Sayin becomes available. And Ohio State has a meeting room, and in that meeting room, in the offensive minds, they say, is this worth it? I mean, we got Aaron Nolan in this class. Lincoln's already here. He's not going to start, obviously, over the guys who are ahead. We had Devin, we had Kyle. Like, what do we? Are we going to take all this? And the answer to that was yes. Yes, we are, because we believe what we see on film. We believe what we see as a character. So those two guys are competing. They could not be more different. You can expand it. You can expand it to the NFL teams in this market. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was a 4-star. He's a 4-star largely because of Ohio State's interest in him. That's what elevated him. He was here for 3 years, battled IKEC for the job. Injury prevented him from getting it. By the time he decides to leave, he's between Cincinnati and LSU. His dad's alma mater, Nebraska, says, yeah, he's not. We don't think he's better than the guy we got here. And they keep Adrian Martinez. So he makes the biggest gamble of all time, and he goes to Baton Rouge and has probably the most legendary senior season in the history of college football. Like, that happened. Go up 71 North and look at the Browns situation. Joe Flacco originally went to Pitt, was a 3-star guy. Tyler Palco was there. Recruiting people remember that name. So then he ends up at Delaware, and the rest is kind of history there. Think about the two guys. Think of Dylan Gabriel and Sheduer Sanders and their path to be able to get there. Kenny Pickett's path to be able to get there, which got me thinking even bigger, NFL-wise, where are these quarterbacks coming from? Where are the 32 NFL quarterback jobs coming from? And it's fascinating. It's kind of an even third split is where they're coming from. There are 9 quarterbacks who are starting this year in the National Football League who are 5-star prospects out of high school. 9 5s. There are 10 4s, 10 4-star prospects starting in the NFL this season. There are 10 3-star prospects. 10. They're split a third, a third, a third. And there are 3 0-stars. Nothing. By the way, the 0-stars, you've probably heard of them. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Cam Ward. That's the list. We have gotten better than we've ever been at identifying talent, at seeing it, at curating it, quarterback coaching it. All of these things that happen in youth, all of these things that happen in the evaluation process, all of the things when they get on campus and you get your hands on them and you turn them into whatever you turn them into. And it's still a scattershot when it comes to landing one. Everybody in the league, Sheduer Sanders to me looked like an NFL quarterback on Friday. Everybody in the league passed on him multiple times. The Browns passed on him for another quarterback. Not to say Gabriel won't play well. We don't know. We'll see when he gets in there. This is how hard this is. So when we sit up here and go, why doesn't Ryan have a decision yet? What's the problem? Because it's really hard is the answer to it. And you don't really know how someone's going to perform until you throw them into the fire and see.
Out of those 4-star prospects, you included Sheduer, the week 1 starter for the Cleveland Browns? Is that?
You're lucky I didn't start drinking the coffee.
Is that what I took away from that?
Take. That would have been.
I was trying to wait to see if I could get you.
Right, I was right to lips, and then you dropped that. That was definitely
because among the things that I had open was Sheduer Sanders' recruiting profile coming out of high school in Texas. I mean, it was. This is kind of what was promised, to your point about quarterbacks and developing them or selecting them out of high school, developing them through college, and then bringing them to be ready in the NFL. Yeah. And the thing with Ryan is he's got 2 quarterbacks that I'm pretty confident to say will be developed into NFL players.
Yeah.
It's just as we've talked for so long, and we'll continue to talk as we inch closer to August 30th, is who's going to do everything better? Who's going to do all of the little things better in that not only quarterback room, but in the team meeting room, but on the field during scrimmages, who's making the best decisions. And it all gets expedited because you have Texas. And the decision-making becomes much more magnified because you're not really looking at, and maybe the coaches look at this differently, but the decisions you make in practice, they don't, they happen against Akron, you can get over it. They happen against Grambling, you can get over it. They can happen against OU, you get over it. They happen against Texas, you're taking a big fat L week 1.
Well, you were going there, Bo. It made me think of 2 things. First of all, probably, arguably, the 2 best to ever do it were drafted in the 6th round, number 199.
Yeah.
And then in the 3rd round, number 82, and Tom Brady and Joe Montana.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about is just think of the quarterback journey here at Ohio State the past 5 seasons.
Oh, man.
You think Quinn Ewers is going to come in and replace C.J. Stroud. You feel like you've got a succession plan, right? Mm-hmm. And then Ewers goes back to Texas. Then you go to Kyle McCord, another 5-star. Mm-hmm. Well, you're not sure Kyle can get you over the hump to win a national championship. So you bring in Will Howard, who was a former 3-star. And then you think, okay, well, we had this plan. Quinn Ewers was going to be here. Well, who's going to succeed him? Well, we got this kid, Lincoln Keenholz, we really like, and we think we can develop him into something. Oh, wait a second. Julian Sayin all of a sudden becomes available. And how you can have this plan even at quarterback, and it doesn't really matter.
Well, they had Aaron Noland in there, too.
Yeah.
He was in there, too, and he was here. I mean, like, all of those things. No, you don't know. And, you think about it. It's funny, and this is probably a good way to tie this up, but the boys playing the video game, and every time they play with Ohio State, and they've done 1,000 seasons with Ohio State, every time they do it, the quarterbacks transfer at the end of the season. So whether they do it with Lincoln or whether they do it with Julian, at the end of the season, the other 2 quarterbacks are like, yeah, we're good. We're out. So, and you're like, wait a second, hold on now. Can we hang around for a little bit?
I do have a question about the game, and if you choose the difficulty, say you're doing a season with a school and you're just coach of whatever state university, is the difficulty setting directly related to how often quarterbacks transfer? That's what you have to the defense is one thing, the opponent's offense is another thing, but the toughest thing is you just threw all the quarterbacks into this what you would do for a bingo thing, and out pops your next quarterback. And the hardest difficulty is every year you just get a different guy.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any correlation, but it is wild how it does mimic real life. It does, and the choice that Ryan Day is going to make, whether he makes it official today or by the end of the week or whatever, it is a very specific decision on how he wants this team to go about its business, because these are 2 very different players, not just in background or makeup, but also just physical traits, the things they're good at. They're very, very distinctly different, and you're choosing one way versus the other, and it's going to be a fascinating week, I think, up on campus. Could come today. We'll see. All right, coming up next, Sheduer Sanders certainly shined in his Browns debut. What is the plan this week up in Cleveland? We will get to that. Austin Ward coming up in 16 minutes, off and running on a Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The kitchen drain has had enough. The toilet's called it quits. Drains are clogged throughout the house. I'm gonna throw a fit.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
At CME, many of our team members are certified financial counselors, trained to help you budget smarter, tackle debt, and build a plan for your financial goals. They offer free confidential support exclusively for CME members with real-world guidance. Whether you're starting from scratch or need a plan for a specific financial journey, our counselors are here to help. No judgment, just support. Let's move forward together. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit cmefcu.org for additional details.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward, and I'm coming up on 2 full years since starting Awaken 180. Dropped 50 pounds, and I still check the scale like it owes me money. Guess what? Hasn't budged. Still under 200 pounds, still feeling great. Keeping weight off this long isn't luck or magic. It's just having the right playbook. Awaken 180 taught me exactly what works, what doesn't, and how to stay lean without the struggle. Want real, lasting results? Don't just drop the weight. Retire it for good. Trust me. Awaken 180 is your winning game plan. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's your lucky day because at Speedway, there's a $5,000 winner every single day. All you do is shop with Speedy Rewards. Then play the in-app game for a chance to win $5,000 in cash. So you could win $5K today, or the next day, or the next day, or the next... Okay, you get it. New daily cash winners only at Speedway. Are you next? No purchase necessary. Ends 1/6/26 USDC 16 plus. For official rules and free gameplay, go to 5k-a-day.com/rules.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the Ultimate OSU Football Insiders. You know it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, you might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hot and humid for us again today. We will see a few stray showers and storms out there, although most of central Ohio will remain dry with our afternoon highs getting into the low 90s. For tonight, mostly clear skies with lows in the 70s. And then for Tuesday, we'll see plenty of sunshine with, again, some isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. And our highs remain in the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 Weather Impact forecast.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
Look, I didn't know what to expect out of Sheduer Sanders last Friday night. Didn't know what to expect. What I'd seen from him in camp was an incredibly natural thrower of the football, and I think I've mentioned this many times over the last couple of weeks. He's a very natural thrower of the football. He's very calm in the pocket. He's very natural. He's just kind of natural. Just anytime he's in there, he doesn't look like any situation's too big for him. Now, to be fair, they haven't put him in any situations that would be. He hasn't gone with the ones. He hasn't done 11 on 11 on that level. He's mostly worked with the 2s and 3s for much of camp, and that's who he worked with on Friday night. But I wasn't sure what it would look like. A lot that you had heard was that there was stuff that were going on, and this wasn't even, not really stuff that was going on, but there was something that was happening in the building that was keeping him from playing with the higher level groups in the practices. And whatever that was, it was keeping him behind Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco, kind of in that pecking order. But what happened on Friday was opportunity knocked, and he opened the door, and he played really well. He played very well. He was incredibly poised. I thought his pocket presence was incredible. I thought his ball placement was elite on the 2 touchdowns, down and low on the one on the crosser, and then up high and outside on the second touchdown. Both of those were incredible. I thought the play he made to Floria when he pointed and then put it to where only he could track it down and caught it was very, very special. The things that to be cleaned up, yeah, you can't run backwards forever in the NFL. That ends up for a loss of 20. So those little things you got to clean up. But in terms of first time as an NFL quarterback playing in a game that sort of counts, I don't know how it's anything other than an A-type performance out of Sanders. What did you guys make of it?
It was great. I'm ready to have him QB1 right now. Like, give him all the reps this week. They're in Philadelphia, I think, Wednesday and Thursday for joint practices against the Eagles. I'm not interested in Dylan Gabriel or Kenny Pickett. Joe Flacco's in case of emergency. Let's just roll with this. It was funny how he had 3 different offensive line combinations in that game against the Carolina Panthers, similar to what he had at Colorado, because they went to the portal twice to get an entirely new offensive line, and he was running for his life. Now, it was really funny to see, and we talked about this on Friday, all of the discussion about the opportunity presented to Sanders and how some felt it was not in his best interest. Yeah. Look, that Carolina defense is the ones, but it's the ones for a 5-12 football team. So that's a great dip your toe into the NFL waters and then see what he can do. And he, I think, he acquitted himself really, really well. The 2 touchdowns you mentioned to Caden Davis, it felt to me like, yes, you know, you've got to put the ball where your guy can get it. The guy's got to make the catch, but you got to have faith that he can make that catch. And the fact that he could do that to a guy who he's probably thrown with maybe only for a couple of months at best showed me that and probably showed a lot of NFL talent evaluators on a lot of different teams. If he's not on the Browns next year, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be calling for him based off what he showed. If it only gets better from here, that's incredible for any team.
I think he showed 2 things, and I think we knew he would show both of those, right? He showed plenty of athleticism. And early on, I feel like he kind of used that athleticism to take off and get out of situations as the game went on. Maybe towards the end of the first quarter, he kind of used that athleticism to extend plays and make plays downfield throwing the ball. And I think that was just him getting comfortable, right? I mean, this is a kid that's ran for his life forever, and this is his first start and action in the NFL, even though it's the preseason, and he can tell us he wasn't nervous all he wants, but you know, that first time there's going to be some jitters. So I think as the game went on, he settled down and he really used that athleticism to open up plays that he could make with his arm. I think the other thing he showed is he's an elite arm talent. He made a couple throws in that game that there's only a handful of guys in the league can make. And you mentioned that first touchdown pass. That was a beautifully placed ball on that. I think he showed, as a Browns fan, what you needed him to. When you get your opportunity, you have to kick the door open. If you get a crack, you bust that thing open, and I think he's done that. Now, the pessimist Browns fan in me has to look around the league and see that Jackson Dart, Tommy DeVito played really good for the Giants. Mitch Trubisky was awesome for Buffalo. Tanner McKee looked like Joe Montana going up against that Bengals defense. Cam Miller, who I've never heard of, had a great game for the Raiders. Kyle Allen, Easton Stick, Ben Woolridge, whoever that is, Sam Howell, Skylar Thompson. Like, all these guys had great games.
Everybody played well,
It's preseason, right? And remember, Trey Lance, we were talking about him after the Hall of Fame game. His second game wasn't that great with the Chargers. So we have to take all of this with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you do. Afterwards, Sheduer was asked if he's gotten a fair shot to this point. Here's what he had to say.
See, I just think about when I get out there, just doing what I got to do. You know, everything else is not in my hands, so I worry about it. That's like, I don't know. I just don't think that deep into everything because it's nothing you're going to be able to control. So why put energy in something that you can't control? So the most you could do is, hey, whenever you get your opportunity, your numbers call, you know, perform and at least do the bare minimum and win the game. So that's what I feel like we did today. And it's definitely things I'm able to grow off of.
Kevin Stefanski now post-game with the fact that he was pleased with the offense and with Sheduer.
Yeah, pleased with Sheduer, pleased with the offense. Again, not perfect, plenty that we can work on, but I thought the guys did a really nice job of Sheduer and operating, the guys making plays. So, again, a ton to teach off of.
Yeah, here's what's going to be really interesting. I see Kevin is speaking actually right now, or just wrapping up speaking right now. And a couple of things to note here on this quarterback competition. Number one, I see this morning that Kenny Pickett is going to be held out of 11-on-11s again to start this week. And Joe Thomas mentioned this, referenced this on the broadcast on Friday night, that the Pickett injury is seems to be more severe than initially thought. So I think Kenny Pickett now at this point, this is now week 3 of a hamstring, and he's still not doing 11-on-11. That does not strike me as any situation where he's going to play in the opener. Now, that was the plan all summer, was for Kenny Pickett to be the starter, and barring him playing very poorly or an injury, Joe Flacco was the break glass. If all else goes to hell, break glass and play Joe Flacco. So my hunch is, this isn't scores, but my hunch is that means now that Flacco will elevate to start, and that Pickett will be, I don't know what happens, honestly, with him. And I think he knows how serious this opportunity was for him. And I'm sure he's just sick over the fact that he hasn't been able to play now fully for going on 3 weeks. So that tells me the hamstring is more severe there. Dylan
timing.
Gabriel, right? Yeah, Dylan, terrible for him. Dylan Gabriel still has a hamstring as well. He is going to get to do 11 on 11. He is in, honestly, guys, a borderline impossible spot. He was drafted ahead of Sheduer. He's gotten more opportunity. More's been asked of him in practice, in the meeting room, than has been of Sheduer. And now the guy who was drafted behind him, who was behind him in every single way, has this performance on a Friday night, and Gabriel still hasn't had that type of opportunity. So how Kevin manages all of that is going to be fascinating to me. If I were them, I would do the Flacco thing now. I mean, I'd get that done going into Philly. Like, I would just say Joe Flacco starting week 1. That's it, and go from there. I don't think you want to play either one of these rookies, and certainly Sheduer would be the one who would be more likely because he's available. And
it is the Bengals.
It's Bengals, Ravens, Vikings, Packers, Lions, Steelers, first 6. I mean, geez, you want to get thrown to the wolves, brother.
I don't know.
I mean, if you're going to start him, do it against the Bengals,
Cincinnati.
right?
Someone will have
Then
success.
bring Flacco in.
Right?
He had a nice Friday night, and now I think it should cause a reevaluation of what's going on up there. But this will be a fascinating week. As Reese mentioned, they'll go to Philadelphia on Wednesday. They leave tomorrow afternoon, but they'll be there Wednesday, Thursday for joint practices again this week. And then the game is not until Saturday at 1 o'clock, and you can hear 11 a.m. in the pregame on ESPN Columbus. So there you go. That's where you stand with the Browns quarterback situation. Where do you stand with the Buckeyes quarterback situation? Austin Ward in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Here's what's up on a Monday, an hour earlier than normal to make way for Ryan Day. Coming up at 11 o'clock, he's our great buddy, Austin Ward. The Beat with Austin Berm, Letterman Row, and 10 TV Plus. Buddy, thank you so much for taking the time. All right, what is your sense of where Ryan is right now. Do you think we could get an answer in a couple hours here?
I think I would be surprised if that's the case, Bo. And not just because of the way that it typically works with Ryan Day, where you go through that first scrimmage, they're going to get the film study, they're going to review that. Then there's going to be things that both of these guys, both Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz, need to correct. And then, maybe you change some of the order or volume of reps in week 2. Again, this is going off past precedent. I don't know if that will actually happen this week or not. And then you're hoping to get maybe what you're seeing validated in that second scrimmage, which I think will be on Saturday this week for Ohio State. So, I won't be surprised if today he says, well, maybe there's some separation, maybe there's someone pulling ahead in that battle. But, it's you and I've had this conversation a few times. It hasn't really changed coming out of practices, whether they were the open practices or even what some folks behind the scenes were saying on Saturday. It is the highest ceiling with the arm talent of Julian Sayin. That's probably what's ultimately going to be the difference maker. And then there are reps or drives where Lincoln Kienholz is able to lead the offense effectively without necessarily doing it with the same flash or ability to touch every part of the field that Julian Sayin can. And that's a positive for the position. That's a positive for Ohio State as a whole. You're playing 15, 16 games. You're probably going to need your backup quarterback at some point. I think it is still more likely than not that Julian Sayin will be the team's starting quarterback. But, continuing this on and having them push each other for another week, I think even if Ryan Day has an inkling that that's the direction that he wants to go or with one of those guys, he would continue that process anyway because it's healthy for the team.
When you, and I'm sure you get this, I get this all the time, people say this is all for show.
Yeah, but why would it be?
It's saying, no, I'm with you. But when people come with you with that, what's your response?
I think back to a couple years ago, and I've said this a bunch. I was in a similar state of mind with Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. I said, this can't be real. Kyle McCord's got the experience. He's got the arm talent. Ryan Day picked him for this. He's going to win the job. And he did, but in the meantime, I was fast-forwarding to the last chapter, and there were a lot of twists and turns along the way throughout that August, and it would have helped put into better context the way that Ohio State played throughout that year at the quarterback position, I think. And so I don't see why there would be any motivation for Ryan Day to turn this into a show. I did mention that, you want to have a competition, you want them both to push each other, but it's not like he has to fabricate a battle to keep both of these guys in camp. The way that their NIL deals are set up, like there's nowhere for them to go. They can't enroll in another school right now, and they would be forfeiting their pay for this season to do so. That's probably like the wrong way to immediately put it into context, because I think both of these guys understand that they have things that they need to improve on, and that it's not going to be easy to be the starting quarterback at Ohio State. But for this notion that it's not legitimate, I mean, I'm surprised that anybody would want to, diminish the potential that either one, but more specifically Lincoln Kienholz, couldn't help Ohio State. I think that should be embraced by people, that Ohio State, and if Ryan Day is taken at his word, which I'm taking him at his word, I don't have any reason not to, especially after what I learned from that process 2 years ago. It is only a good thing to have two quarterbacks that you view as capable of starting for Ohio State. So if you think it's fake, I don't know what that's supposed to mean about the way people view Lincoln Kienholz. I don't think that he can go, casually flick it 40, 50 yards on a line and drop dimes down the field that way, but neither could Will Howard, and they carved out an offense that worked for him. And Lincoln has the ability to help with the run game, the short and intermediate stuff. I think he's more than capable of handling that part of it. I think that there's nothing but positives to continue to have that, and you want to have two. So I know that there's the notion, and I've said it here, you and I both said this, like ultimately I think the difference maker, the extraordinary talent, is Julian Sayin's arm. We've never said that this is going to end a different way. I'd be surprised if it did. But that doesn't mean that Ryan Day and Billy Fetzer and Brian Hartline aren't seeing things from both guys that either cause them some concern to not make this definitive, or optimism that both can actually go out there and play for Ohio State. Either one.
Yeah, and I think it's I'm glad you brought up the McCord Devin Brown one, because people. Here's the other thing, and the devil's advocate to what you just said. Everything you say is factual, but the devil's advocate is like he waited a while to name C.J. Stroud, and we're all like, come on, what are we doing? And he waited a while with Justin Fields too. Remember, we're like, wait, what is going on? Like, he's obviously the guy. Like, what are we doing? So I think Ryan does like this. I think he does like keeping guys. I think he's creating pressure. He's creating a sense of urgency with these competitions too. So we've had a bunch of them. We had the one you mentioned there. They won last year with Will and Devin. It was like, look, they brought in Will for a reason, but he had to go win it. So I think that's kind of where there's a little bit of misdirection a little bit with what they're doing. But I'm with you. I think it's more like the McCord Devin one. And I think what makes it most about that is stylistically, these two players are very different. If you listen to what Austin just said there in terms of Julian's ability to sprinkle it all over the field, elite arm talent, all of that. But Lincoln, the elite athlete, brings an element to the offense that Julian doesn't. His mobility, his kind of gamesmanship stuff, all of that. So whoever they go with, and again, we think it'll probably be Julian, it is a choice on what this team is going to be offensively, is it not? Yeah,
without a question. And I know that I don't love the idea of two quarterback systems, whether that was when they had, Ohio State used Tate Martell to do that. They used Devin Brown 2 years ago in the middle of the year before he got hurt. I don't love the idea of JT even did it briefly during the Cardale season. I don't necessarily love that idea. I never have. So I personally wouldn't advocate for it, but Ohio State has an option to do some of that with Lincoln Keynotes if they want. I think that offense, if they have to get to that, whether it's in doses or for whatever reason, they have to turn to the backup quarterback, and that is Lincoln Keynotes, more likely than not. You have options that you can build an offense or a package around what he does very well. And I don't, some of this conversation, though, he's just an athlete and nobody, talks about his arm talent. I think on the short and intermediate stuff, I don't really think there's a big difference between what Lincoln Keynotes is doing in the practices that we've seen and what Will Howard did a year ago. That can be plenty good enough when you have wide receivers who can take a 10-yard slant and go 70 yards for a touchdown. So, that's, again, positives that Lincoln continues to develop. I think, Bo, I was told on Saturday, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything that it means, but because in my mind, I think back to 2 years ago in McCord and Brown, it was somebody that I talked to went all the way back to Joe Burrow and Dwayne Haskins with this competition. And we think about what Joe Burrow's become now, and you think, well, that's not what Lincoln Keynotes is. But I make this point all the time. And people forget not just Joe Burrow's first season at LSU, but the development process took him a while at Ohio State. And it was, inconsistency with some of the throws, the inability to push the ball down the field. He was not, Joe Cool, and Joe Burrow at that time at Ohio State. And it was it wasn't just Dwayne Haskins playing in the game that set him apart. It was the arm talent. So in this particular case, they're saying, well, it does remind some people at Ohio State and some people that watched the scrimmage even on Saturday of Joe Burrow as Lincoln Keynotes and Dwayne Haskins as Julian Sayin. And we know that the arm talent ultimately won out there as well. So again, I don't think that that's any different. And there are going to be people that hear that and scoff because Joe Burrow went out and won a Heisman and was a number one pick and has been awesome for the Bengals. But, you think about the first 3 years that Joe Burrow was here, I'm like, oh, well, I guess that does kind of make a little bit more sense to me.
Well, right. And that was one of those ones where everybody won. I mean, Haskins had one of the greatest seasons in the history of the program, and then you got Fields after it, and then Burrow goes to LSU and has the greatest single season maybe in the history of college football. So that's one of those ones where everybody won. It strikes me because when I think of the way that people talk to me about Keynotes, I think of Will, and I think of what Will did very well, and Will was a stud last year here. Yeah. So it feels like that is the type of offense it would be if it's Keynotes, and then if it goes the other way and it's saying, then that's C.J. Stroud to me, and that is just cool, calm, the whole field, throw it all over the place, that type of thing. So it's going to be a very specific decision that's made by Ryan whenever that time comes to make it. In terms of other whispers, I'll get you out of here on this one. We're a couple of weeks in. around the rest of the roster, who are names that when you are talking, you have availability, that names that just keep popping up and up, like, hey, watch out for this guy?
Yeah, a couple folks talked about Jelani Thurman's week that he had last week, and I really think I didn't even factor him into this really, because he hasn't tapped into the potential. But I think this is the best tight end group in America, and that doesn't immediately come up in a national conversation. It's hard to quantify, but what you have with Max Clare and Will Kazmarek at the top is just a fantastic combination of receiving threat and blocking, all around weapon there. But if you then add in Bennett Christian right there to do some of the Kazmarek stuff, and then Jelani Thurman is able to start doing some of the receiving game weapon stuff that he hasn't fully tapped into yet in his career. That's some of the stuff that he's doing. We saw that even in the first 3 practices, and I thought, well, that's interesting. It's not full contact, it's not full pads yet, and now it's like, well, that's been sustained into these scrimmages. I think, Jelani, you have an opportunity here to use 4 tight ends in a lot of creative ways. You think, well, that's down the pecking order of Jeremiah Carnell and Brandon Ennis, but it's significant nonetheless. And then defensively, I think that Malik Hartford and Jalen McClain are both taking that step to do things that I think would then allow Matt Patricia to move around Caleb Downs. So you got to have those safeties to replace what Latham and Jordan Hancock did a year ago, and their names coming up a lot. I know Malik Hartford had some stuff that caught people's eye on Saturday in that deep safety role. So those guys, I could probably name 10 more, Bo, but I know we're up against it. So we'll hear from Ryan Day, see who else he names at that 11 o'clock hour.
You're becoming a radio vet. Anytime you use up against it, you're there, buddy. So great job out of you. Always appreciate the time and the conversation, pal. Thanks for giving us a little bit of it today.
All right, bud. See you.
There he goes, Austin Ward, The Beat with Austin and Berm, 10 TV Plus on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll go over the sports weekend that was coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and I want to talk to you about the roof over your head. You know that thing that protects your house and everything in it? It's pretty important, and a lot of you are going to have to replace it soon, but be warned. There are companies out there that skip over the biggest part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if that attic doesn't have proper circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and rot. You got rot, and not to mention leaks in the wintertime and higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I'm telling you about my guys at Victor's Home Solutions. They start with a free 21-point roof inspection, including a thorough inspection of that attic as well. They know that if that ventilation isn't right, that roof's going to be built on a shaky foundation. That's why every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are also available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and get that estimate today. 866-VICTORS or go to victors.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Cash for Clunkers continues during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for Clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic 4-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com. Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It works worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I just had the greatest day today. One of our customers in Delaware literally happy cried. Her new windows just completely transformed her home. It was just magical.
Oh, so you like magic.
Well, that's not what I was saying.
Is this your card?
Wilson, you didn't even... Okay, sure. That was my card.
And magic.
Get the windows that can change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news. We fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are proudly sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 78 years. This is a pretty big announcement this morning out of New York. Paramount will become the new home of all Ultimate Fighting Championship events in the United States under a 7-year deal with TKO Group. It was announced this morning. Under the deal, Paramount will exclusively distribute the UFC's full slate of 13 marquee numbered events, 30 fight nights, all on the streaming platform Paramount Plus. Select number of events will also be simulcast on CBS. Do you know how far this has come? Do you know where you know how you used to be able to have to watch UFC? Like when I was this, it was almost like X-rated content at the video store. UFC fights.
You'd have to have your streams, your bad boy streams.
Well, before bad boy streams, Reese. I'm talking about VHS to watch like Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock. You'd have to go to the video store and you'd buy UFC 1 or 2, and it was almost like watching like a snuff film. Like it was like. If your parents caught you watching it, like, what are you watching that's so violent, broken arms, all this stuff, and now it's going to be on CBS, the home of Cronkite? What a world we live in 20-some years, 30 years, I guess.
You know what my favorite thing about those days were, Bo? And I don't know if you remember this. Jim Brown was one of the commentators.
That's right.
He was like it was like him and Goldberg and Rogan. And it might have just been... Goldberg and Jim Brown on the first 1 or 2 of those, and then Joe Rogan got involved. But yeah, Jim Brown.
I don't remember Rogan
was one
right
of the
away.
Commentators.
Yeah, he was. That's right. Yeah, I mean, Mark Coleman, who was a Buckeye, was the first UFC champion. But that's incredible. But there's that part of it, that this was something that was so far on the periphery that will now be on broadcast television, which is a crazy juxtaposition. Same thing happened with wrestling last week with the WWE, with the agreement with ESPN, right? I mean, that those are going to be on ESPN, like a WrestleMania will be on ESPN. Like, that is something that you just can't wrap your head around. But all of the things that are happening, and they're happening because these streaming platforms are using sports or sports adjacent, in the case of WWE, to prop up their subscribers. That's why all of this is happening. They've used football, and now they're using fighting.
And I'm kind of surprised, and I know they talked about this was a possibility with CBS and Paramount Plus getting into this, but with WWE and UFC kind of being under the same umbrella, it's kind of surprising that WWE would be joining ESPN, but yet UFC would be leaving. But I guess when someone offers you, Bo, $7.7 billion, you go do it.
It's $1 billion a year. Yeah.
It's the number, and it's also the ultimate legitimization of what you've been trying to do for 30 years for Dana White. Like you talked, the fights used to be available only on VHS, and it always kind of felt like the promotion that nobody would take seriously. And now you're on the same playing field, really, as the NFL. Now, I know nobody's going to mistake the two, and you had obviously Goodell last week saying they compete with only Google and Apple, and that's true. But the fact that now you're going to have guys calling fights, like Joe Rogan's going to be wearing a CBS coat, or maybe he won't. But the fact
Polo,
that's in the kind of same, like that you're on the same tier now as those kinds of sports is kind of the ultimate win for Dana White.
Agreed. Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Like when for the kids out there, when you would go to the video store and you would grab a UFC, it was the exact same nervousness walking up to the counter as you did walking up with like Basic Instinct. Like it's like, I'm not 18. I think we all know that, but I'm 13. Don't you think I can? That was the same nervous energy, and now it's going to be on CBS. It's a wild thing.
And CBS has dipped their toe in this before. I believe they had some Bellator fights on Saturday nights before.
Yes, they have.
And obviously Paramount has been in with this because it was Spike TV in the Ultimate Fighter in that Stephan Bonner Forrest Griffin fight that really put UFC on the map and led it down the path to becoming mainstream like it has today.
Yeah, it's a wild juxtaposition. All right, do I need to pay attention to baseball or not?
The Gambling Guardians, they're coming, baby.
Oh, they're going to mess around and get a wild card spot. Like, I'm confident now. And I was saying this even before the All-Star break. Like, when you see the dreck of the American League on your schedule, call up guys you think are ready to make the leap. Like, C.J. Kafis had 4 RBI over the weekend in 3 games against, the Chicago White Sox. But if that kind of craps on your schedule, call him up, be ready. I know the Guardians also, I think it was Sunday, made a platoon call up. Like, Travis Bazan is going to be playing in Columbus. So jumpstart this, but also with the guys they've got right now in that clubhouse, and it does feel over the past couple of days, they've made a real conscious effort to distance themselves completely for Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase. Like, even on the broadcast, the announcers are like, these guys in the clubhouse want nothing to do with those two. The Tigers have also been slipping a little bit. I'm not ready to say that the Guardians can take the division, but damn, a wild card sounds kind of fun, especially with also the Yankees falling on their face.
So you're a half game out, right? Yeah, half game out of the wild card.
Playing the Marlins.
Yeah. Well, so do I have this right? I just pulled this. So Mariners, Red Sox are both in, and then right now the Yankees and Guards are on the outside. Am I looking at this right?
That's correct.
Okay.
No, the Yankees have the last wild card spot right now. The Guardians are a half game back of them for that final wild card.
So they do 3 wild cards in baseball?
Yes, 3 wild cards.
Yes.
Oh, for God's sakes. I can't even keep track of that. So then in the National League, the Redlegs, your beloved Redlegs, are just a game and a half out then, Bake.
They've kind of been there for a while now, Bo.
Yeah.
They've gotten game and a half, down to 3 or 4, back up to a game and a half. They've just been kind of riding that wave. Thankfully for them, the Mets have not been good, and they've kind of been falling back to the pack. They might be farther back because at one time they were a game and a half behind San Diego. San Diego's kind of pulled away from them a little bit now, but the Mets being the Mets, thankfully.
Yeah, it appears that way. So you could have an interesting August and September for the two clubs, and obviously the Guardians headed in the right direction. Look, they make the playoffs damn near every year, so nothing would be too surprising about that. I'll give Adam King a little bit of shine too. This is a pretty good tweet out of him to bring this to our attention. Travion Henderson took his first NFL touch back to the house, 100 yards. Adam did the deep digging on this. His first collegiate touchdown was a 70-yard touchdown. His last collegiate touchdown was a 75-yard touchdown, and his first NFL touchdown was a 100-yard kick return. That's a good job out of Adam King on
Big
that
play,
one.
Trey.
He's also like throwing people into the ground with his pass protection.
Well, you knew he'd do that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the most equipped to do that of anybody in that draft. So, yeah, you knew that'd be the case. Second hour up next. We kick it off by blitzing the weekend. Then we get into some two-a-days on the Packers and the Vikings. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Let me ask you something. Is your money doing everything it can for you?
I don't know. How would I know?
Is it automatically saving for special events and keeping you posted on its progress? Like at Huntington Bank?
Oh, no.
Is it tracking your spending so you can make the best choices at the mall?
Nope.
Or setting limits on your teenager's debit card?
Definitely not.
Then it could certainly be doing more.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Get everything for your next project at Menards. Tackle tough jobs with Loctite Power Grab adhesive. This all-purpose construction adhesive is easy to use and bonds to a variety of materials. Plus, it's high strength, paintable, and reduces the need for clamping with 0-second instant grab. Save big money on Loctite Power Grab at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better. You've earned it.
It's your lucky day because at Speedway, there's a $5,000 winner every single day. All you do is shop with Speedy Rewards. Then play the in-app game for a chance to win $5,000 in cash. So you could win $5K today, or the next day, or the next day, or the next... Okay, you get it. New daily cash winners only at Speedway. Are you next? No purchase necessary. Ends 1/6/26 USDC 16 plus. For official rules and free gameplay, go to 5k-a-day.com/rules.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Oh, I can't believe we blew a 5-touchdown lead.
Sure, but you got to feel like they were going to win for almost the entire game.
But I was about to buy playoff tickets.
So you were prepared for a good time. That's pretty nice.
It's the worst loss any team has ever had.
And you got to witness history.
Okay, we're done here.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. For the first time ever, the top two teams in the preseason coaches poll will meet on the field in week one. Number 1, Texas will be in Columbus to battle number 2, Ohio State, 19 days from now, Saturday, August 30th. This afternoon, the Associated Press will unveil their preseason top 25. On the field, the Buckeyes resumed fall camp this morning. OSU's Ryan Day will speak after practice sometime in the 11 o'clock hour. We'll carry his comments live on the Fan when he takes the podium. In the NFL, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski told reporters he's not yet ready to name a starting quarterback for Saturday's preseason game against the Eagles. Sheduer Sanders impressed in Friday's preseason opener at Carolina. Joe Burrow is going to start for the Bengals next Monday in their second preseason game at Washington. This update sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
This is a pretty great tweet from Bryce in regard to like being a kid and trying to get UFC tapes and to rent them. He writes, I definitely felt like I was buying booze with a fake ID when getting UFC tapes. It was the only way to watch Kevin Randleman. That's exactly how it felt. The whole time you're just like, please let me. Come on.
Bo, you remember Coleman and Randleman were teammates at Ohio State, and they said back then, and this is how much the fighting game has come along too, they said back then they would never fight each other unless it was for a championship and $1 million. And it turned out where it never happened, where one of them had the championship and the other was there for that to work out. But they said back then they would never fight each other unless those were the terms.
Dom and I had Mark on Wall to Wall Sports Primetime, a show we used to do on ONN. We had him on for the first segment to kind of talk about the first 15 minutes. And then we had a golf pro, the great West Widows from the Golf Club of Dublin, was going to come on in the second segment. We're going to preview, I don't know, the Masters or whatever. And we did the first segment with Mark, and we're like, all right, Mark, great seeing you, man. Thank you so much for coming down. He's like, yeah, I'm not leaving. And we're like, no, we got to bring on Wes. We're going to talk some golf. I don't give a blank. I'm having a good time. I'm not leaving. So he stayed because no one's moving him. So
no one's going to tell him.
Who's telling him to leave? So he stuck around, and we did a little golf chat with those two, which was pretty classic.
I bet if Mark Coleman in his day caught a golf ball, it'd go far.
It'd go a long ways for sure. Let's blitz the weekend, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present a Weekend Sports Blitz.
I believe I had it. What did you have, Bake?
I believe I had that Sheduer is a gamer. And once he got on the field, his athleticism and his arm talent would take over, especially in the preseason, and he would just be fine. Now, I don't know if that means he's Bernie Kosar for the Browns moving forward, and the long jersey with 40-plus names is over. But I thought he would just do fine Friday night, and he did.
Yeah.
I think I've been saying this for a couple of months almost now. Start the rookie week one for Cleveland. I'm not interested in Joe Flacco anymore. I'm not interested in Kenny Pickett anymore. Now, I didn't have which rookie.
Yeah. Because
I didn't think that Sheduer would get the opportunity over Gabriel, but with the opportunity that Sheduer has gotten and that he's taken full advantage of, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Preseason game 2 against the Eagles, preseason game 3, week 1 against Cincinnati. It's Sheduer. Just go.
Yeah, I believe I had that it was absolutely nonsense that Sheduer is being set up to fail. It's just utter nonsense last week. How could an opportunity like this be set up to fail? Kevin Stefanski put him in the best position to succeed consistently on Friday. The idea that a franchise that has been looking for a franchise quarterback since Bernie Kosar, if had one in the building, would sabotage him is the dumbest thing. The whole league passed on this kid. They didn't, even though they already drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round. They traded up to get him in the 5th. So they saw something there, and if he's a lottery ticket, which is what I've been saying for the longest time, if they hit on it, then it changes everything. So the notion that they were going to sabotage him was just always utter BS. I did not have that. What did you not have, Bake?
I did not have that Kelsey Mitchell was the leading scorer in the WNBA to this point. She had a big game over the weekend.
Really?
She now has 710 points this year in the WNBA season. That's more than everyone else. Nafisa Collier is the next one with 694 points. I've said this before, Bo, and this is not watching on TV, but actually seen in person with my own eyes. Kelsey Mitchell is the best female basketball player I have ever seen, and she's still getting it done in the league.
Well, she's like, is she number 2 all time or number 3 all time in women's basketball college scoring? I think she's 3rd. I think it's Clark, Swoops, and her. Go ahead, Reese.
I did not have how good Tom Brady's statue would look relative to how he looked when he was a player. Like, that's pretty spot on. Like, you want to talk about a player who impressed, whoever sculpted that thing. I was convinced going into Friday, and I was probably the only one that cared about this, that it would be like the worst bust ever. But it looked like Tom in his playing days in New England. Now, it doesn't look like he does now because he's done some good work and also had some good work, but that was a pretty good statue.
Okay, I was going to go another way, but now you've left me no choice. I did not have that Tom Brady was going to turn into Uncle Baby Billy. He looks exactly like Uncle Baby Billy. It's exactly what he looks like. With the glasses.
Give him white hair? Yeah.
Like, what has happened, man? Why are you trying to look like Uncle Baby Billy? Stop it with your face, brother. Player who impressed, Bake.
Bo, this makes me happy because this man is our age and he's still getting it done. But Justin Rose, excuse me.
Yeah.
4 birdies on the final 4 holes. 2 out of the 3 playoff holes he birdies to knock off J.J. Spawn. He comes from 3 strokes behind Tommy Fleetwood to win the FedEx St. Jude Classic this weekend in Memphis. Man, Rose was dialed in on those last 4 holes in those playoff holes.
Best guy, too. Such a good dude.
I've been impressed in Guardians right fielder C.J. Kafis. He drove in 4 runs in the Guardians' 3-game series against the White Sox over the weekend. Cleveland took 2 of 3 in Chicago, and it only buttresses against my point of you have really bad teams in your division. When you see them on the schedule, bring up the young guys. Mm-hmm. It's a perfect way to dip their toes into the water, and so you're not having to worry about actually good teams because you're not playing too many of them.
Almost like he should have been here earlier.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm going to go Luke Floria. Luke Floria was he's a kid from Mentor. He played at Kent State. He's been at Browns camp going all the way back to rookie minicamp. He's someone who flashed kind of the whole way. And he was one of those guys, as you watched in camp, who just always got open and always caught the ball. And Kevin would bring up Adam Thielen, and he would bring up these various things with him because Thielen did that. Kind of came out of nowhere, and then just one of these guys who always got open and always caught the ball. So it just breaks your heart when you see the injury on Friday night to Floria. I don't know if he would have made the team, but he definitely would have been on the practice squad, and he would have been in the mix. And then I saw this morning Stefanski describe it as a fairly serious injury, so that your heart breaks for him because he was doing all of the things that are necessary to make a roster for his hometown team, and now it looks like it was robbed. But it does not take away with what he accomplished this summer. Player who disappointed, Bake.
So I gave Justin Rose his flowers. Now I got to come at you, Tommy Fleetwood.
Oh, Tommy.
It's like 90 starts now. You can't get a win, and multiple times now in the final round, you just kind of peed down your leg. Like, what did he do on that one putt? Like, he took the putter back and almost started walking away before he even hit the putt and knew that it was going to be nowhere close. We talk about Penn State and James Franklin. Mm-hmm. If not now, when? I don't think it's ever going to happen for Tommy Fleetwood, and I'll start calling you a bum just like I called Rory McIlroy a bum if it gets you to win.
I'll tell you this. His career earnings now are over $30 million, and he's never won.
Like 90 starts too.
That tells you what you need to know, like about what's happened on the PGA Tour, that you can accumulate that type of wealth and not win.
I'm disappointed in the Browns, but for 2 things: not drafting Travion Henderson and bringing Deshaun Watson with them anywhere they go. Just let him stay at home. Like, he doesn't need to be on the sideline with you. He doesn't need to be in the quarterback room. You can have him, I guess, in the quarterback room in the facility, but I don't need to see him on television wearing a Deshaun Watson hat on the sidelines. Like, as a Browns fan, I would like to forget he even existed.
Yeah, it's wild, too, because he's going to be there all of this year as he rehabs the second Achilles, and then he'll be there all of next year. I mean, that's going to be a part of it. So their plan for that, I think, is going to be pretty fascinating. Player disappointed my wife. I finally I've talked about this several times over the summer. The lawn just hasn't looked good all summer. And I feel like we're doing all of the things. Well, come to find out, she decided that we didn't need the fertilizer in the spring.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, well, honey, we're not. And so we've tried all these things this summer. It's just not coming around. I'm like, it's a lost year. It's a lost year for the lawn. You can't get it back this time of year. It'll be back next spring is when it's going to be back.
Well, if you fertilize it.
Well, she did acknowledge, I won't do that again. Well, yeah,
it's the best way to learn sometimes.
Well, let's not skip that again. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week, Big.
To me, it's the manager of the Gambling Guardians, Stephen Vogt. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Since they had that 10-game losing streak a little over a month ago, they've gone 21-7 and gained 10.5 games in the standings. Guardians are playing good.
They always do.
Yeah, Vogt's my pick as well. Also, give a little love to Terry Francona. It's just fun I think baseball's better when Tito is involved with it. And how do you snap a 3-game slide? Well, you go beat the brakes off the Pirates Sunday. Like, Terry Francona is one of the greatest managers of all time. It doesn't matter the team that he's with. And I love seeing him in the dugout, just happy and healthy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome for both the two Ohio teams to be in the mix here this time of year. I'm going to give it to me. I'm the Bud Kilmer honorary coach of the week. Bootsy and I had, in the 2-on-2 full court games, had lost. We had lost 5 in a row heading into this weekend's events, and we're just not getting things done. So I switched up the defense. I got Bootsy playing up at the 3-point line, and then once one of those guys go below the free throw line, he switches to the other to contest the jump shots, and I handle the paint. And then on every shot, he runs out, and we get layups going the other way. We won 5 in a row. We're back, baby. Good job. Bootsy executing it as well. Very proud of him on his efforts. All right, we got 2 days coming up next. We are in the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers will be first on the docket. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Chad.
Hi, I'm Chad. I've been taking the low T treatment at Tri-State Men's Health for a little under a year now. So I was really just struggling with finding the energy to accomplish the things I wanted to do every day. By the end of the workday, I was very drained and tired and found it hard to concentrate and get my job done, and was looking for something to kind of get that edge back. Once I started taking the treatment, I felt probably within the first 2 to 3 weeks more energy. And the thing that really I noticed right away was sleeping. Now I get a solid 8 hours. I'm going on vacation. I'm enjoying myself. So men out there, if you're struggling with any of the symptoms I was, low energy, brain fog, lack of sleep, I would highly recommend you call Tri-State Men's Health. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Chad. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days. Deferred payment. Interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit. Expires 8/31.
Start your morning knowing anything is possible, because if these guys are hosting a radio show, imagine the possibilities. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Your home for football, food, and fun. The Fan.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Do you have foot pain? Foot pain is not normal regardless of your age or job. Podiatric physicians are the most qualified doctors to care for your feet and can provide important foot care solutions or shoe inserts to better manage foot pain. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. We've been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hot and humid for us again today. We will see a few stray showers and storms out there, although most of central Ohio will remain dry with our afternoon highs getting into the low 90s. For tonight, mostly clear skies with lows in the 70s. And then for Tuesday, we'll see plenty of sunshine with, again, some isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. And our highs remain in the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 Weather Impact forecast.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little two-a-days. We are in the NFC North. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present Two-A-Days, our preseason look around the league.
We will kick it off with the Packers of Green Bay. This has been a model franchise for most of my life, certainly as long as I can remember. They have been. The idea that you could go from Don Majkowski, who for the kids was pretty dang good in the late 80s, early 90s, to Brett Favre, to Aaron Rodgers, to Jordan Love over the course of 30 plus, damn near 40 years it's impossible to have that type of quarterback lineage through the years. But they have. They've had that stability. They've had coaching stability. It seems when they make a coaching hire, they land on it. They draft really well. They draft to their style, their needs. Here's an amazing thing about the Packers. I was looking at their R-Lads depth chart in terms of their roster. 8 of the 11 starters on defense are homegrown. 9 of the 11 on offense are homegrown. They hit on their picks. When they draft in the first round, they draft starters. When they draft in the second round, they draft starters. They hit on some guys who are lower round picks as well. There are a couple of misses here and there, and you can begrudge them maybe the end of Rodgers and how that was kind of handled. Probably the same a little bit with the end of Favre. Some of that's probably on Favre and Rodgers too. But in the end, they are an incredibly sustainable operation that has been good forever. And you look at their roster this year, and it looks pretty dang good to me. Now, they need somebody in that receiver room to step up in a big way because they've been looking for that for a while. Christian Watson was that. He can't stay healthy. Romeo Doubs is there in that group as well. They drafted Matthew Golden this year. So they've put a lot of resource into that receiver room. They just need it to hit because everything else on this roster works, guys.
Yeah, they also got Savion Williams out of TCU in the third round. And you think to yourself, wait, they got their quarterback wide receiver help in the draft?
Yeah.
Like it does seem like a few years too late. And to your point about Watson, he's probably going to start the season on the PUP list with a sprained foot. But I don't see with the fifth total. The Packers were fifth in total defense last season. This is year 7 with Matt LaFleur. I don't see any reason why this team takes a step back.
No.
Like this, if Jordan Love's able to play as well as he did last season, like they were only stopped by the Philadelphia Eagles, who put the boot to everybody's ass last year.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, Reese. Like, I don't think this team got any worse. I don't know how much better they got, though. I think some of that might depend on Matthew Golden and how good is he and if he really gives Jordan Love a legitimate threat. But we talked about the Lions. I don't think the Lions will be quite as good this year as they were last year. I don't think the Vikings, and we'll talk about them next, I don't think they'll be quite as good. And I think the Bears improved, but really not that much. So, yeah, I think Green Bay is probably pretty steady right now where they're at.
Yeah, through 2 years as a starter for Love, remember they took him in the first round of the 2020 draft, and yet he's only 26. So this will be his 5th season in Green Bay, but he's only 26 years old, so that fits pretty nicely. Year 1 as a starter in 23, 64%, 41-59, 32 touchdowns, 11 picks. Year 2, last year, the percentage drops a little to 63, so that completion percentage isn't what I think LaFleur would want it to be. 33-89, 8 yards an attempt, though, last year, up from 7.2 in year 1, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks. They have everything. This division is a logjam. It is. All of these teams are really talented. You can make an argument that top to bottom, this is the toughest division in football, especially if you believe in Chicago. If you don't believe in Chicago, you don't believe in Caleb Williams, then I think that there's a pecking order of 3+1. If you believe that Caleb Williams takes a step, then this is 4 teams that, from a talent standpoint, and really the only thing prohibiting Chicago from being a playoff team will be Williams, like everything else is. And I think every one of these teams, I used to say this about the AFC North a couple of years ago, you go into every one of those front offices and you say, like right when the Browns acquired Watson, you would say that every one of those front offices would say, hey, let's go make a run at a Super Bowl. And you're not quite there yet, because I'm with you, Bake. I don't think this Packers team did enough this offseason to take that leap to NFC elite. But they look like a playoff team to me. They look like a 10-plus win team to me. And most of the teams in this division do as well, except for Chicago. Chicago's kind of the one wild card on it. But there's a lot to like with this Packers team.
Yeah.
Look at the schedule real quick here. Where do we got?
Week 5 is their bye.
So they got Lions, Commies, Browns, Cowboys, Bengals, Cardinals to start. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. The crossovers with the North this year. So it's North versus North. So it's going to be a lot of tough. You could see those win totals come down just because of how difficult the schedule is going to be for all of them.
Yeah, it does feel that way for both NFC and AFC North teams. While the regular season, you take a little bit more lumps. Like, hard to see the Detroit Lions losing just twice in the regular season this season. But maybe that's for the better of their playoff hopes. Or I guess for a playoff push, it would be better just to lose in the regular season, but also maybe rest some guys and not have to get eaten up by the injury bug as much. And similarly for Green Bay, while 11-6, probably not, but 10-7 still gets it done in a playoff spot in the NFC. And once you get in, you're rolling.
The thing that really hurts Green Bay, I think, is the end of that schedule, Bo. Those last 7 games are against teams that we think are all going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
They could just play bad football the first 10 weeks of the season, and they're still going to be 5-5. You would think.
You would, yeah. Feels like a playoff team to me. I don't know that I can see them any more than that, but it definitely feels like a playoff team. Let's hit the categories on the Packers. Let's start with your fantasy sleeper, Bake.
To me, it's their tight end, Tucker Kraft. He quietly, I feel like, had a pretty good year last year. 700 yards, 7 touchdowns, and that's pretty good production out of a tight end. And I don't think most people think of Tucker Kraft as a top tight end in the top 10 tight end in the league. So I think he's giving you that kind of production. That's my sleeper for him.
I think any of the wide receivers not named Christian Watson would be pretty good, pretty good value kind of in later rounds. Matthew Golden, obviously the rookie that they seem to like really well. Like, they're going to get a lot of targets because they've got to find somebody like Jaden Reed, the former Michigan State wide receivers there, Savion Williams out of TCU. Either of those, I think, would get you good value later rounds.
I'm going to be honest with you, outside of Jaden Reed, I would probably stay away from all of this early. Because I have no idea who he's going to throw to. I have no idea. In terms of last year, in terms of attempts, like they threw it to Dontavian Wicks. He got 76 targets. It actually led the team. Now, they only completed on 39 of those targets, but 76 targets led the team. He was over 400 yards. So, like, they need somebody. This is the one thing that's going to keep them from being special. They've spent a lot of capital on these receivers. They need somebody to hit. I don't know that there is a Golden maybe late if he can play to talent. That would potentially be it, but I don't know what the pecking order is going to be here. There's nobody I would take early out of this room. Do they have the right quarterback, Bake?
I think they do. Can he get them to a Super Bowl? I guess that's the question with Jordan Love right now, but he's a pretty daggone good quarterback, so I think they do.
Yeah, no, I think they do. That's about it. Yeah, they have the right quarterback right now, Jordan Love.
Yeah, and you remember how their season ended the year before in San Francisco, where he had one of the most inexplicable interceptions to end that game a couple of years ago? He bounced back from that, and he was really good last year. I do think he's the guy. I don't know that he's in that elite category, but he's probably one of those guys who's going to vacillate between 8 and 15, and that's pretty good. You'll take that. Coolest to ever play in Green Bay, Big.
Man, it's really hard for me not to go with Sterling Sharp here because he was so good in my formidable years of watching football. But the guy throwing to him was pretty good as well, and maybe there's been some things that have come out about him that don't make him cool, but Brett Favre on the field was really cool.
As a Green Bay Packer, Brett Favre was really cool on the football field. Then everything else that's been reported happened. Greg Jennings put the team on his back in one of the most viral NFL moments probably ever, where a guy's just playing with Greg Jennings who breaks his leg in the middle of the play but still scores a touchdown because, again, he puts the team on his back.
They've had a lot of cool ones. Rodgers was really cool there. Favre was really fun and cool there. Reggie White was cool there. They've won a lot. I'm going to go Bart Starr. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to go Bart Starr. I got to meet him once. And if you ever Google Bart Starr's signature is perfect because he wanted every letter to be read legibly by every kid he signed for. So every letter you can see in his signature. And that always resonated with me, like how important that was to him to have it be perfectly legible for every single time he signs it.
That is pretty cool.
Every letter. And that was something he did consciously. Like if a kid asks for my autograph, they are going to be able to read it. So no squiggly lines, just every letter is
now
legible.
It helps it's only 9 letters.
Helps that it's 9 letters. But nevertheless, every letter is scripted perfectly. Very good job out of him. What is this team this year, Bake?
I think they're pretty much what they were last year. I think they're a playoff team. I think they're battling the Lions for the lead in the NFC North this year. I think they're 11-6, 12-5, somewhere right in there.
Yeah, this is 10-7. I mean, a team that in that January 3rd or 4th game against the Vikings, you're talking about the NFC North crown.
That's where I am. I think they're a playoff team. I think if Love takes a step and one of the receivers or two of them, God forbid, goes and plays to their level, then I do think they could be a team that knocks on the door for the Super Bowl. I think they have kind of everything, but to me, playoffs, absolutely. That's the minimum requirement. Franchise grade for the Packers, Bake.
I don't know how this is anything but an A.
Yeah.
They were there at the beginning of the Super Bowl era. They've been there throughout. And, like you said, it helps when you get Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, boom, 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 back to back. But you had to take those guys. You had to get them. You had to make the trade to get them or draft them. So it's an A.
Yeah, it's an A. It's the only reason I'm keeping it from almost an A+, because they've always been, like in my entire life, the Green Bay Packers have been one of the franchises in the NFL. It's always been steady, but they didn't put talent around Aaron Rodgers when it kind of mattered.
Yeah, it's probably really close to an A+. I don't know how many A+ we're going to have, but if it's not an A+, it's like a 96, 95%. They're basically the Ohio State Buckeyes. They've never fallen off. They don't rebuild. They reload. Next. I mean, it's kind of been that way since the mid-'80s. They've always been in the mix. They always make the playoffs. They always have good quarterbacks. They've won 2 Super Bowls in that time. You could argue they probably should have won a little bit more. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, probably. They've never slipped. Like in our lifetimes, they've never slipped, which is a pretty remarkable thing. Another very, very good operation coming up next in 2 minutes. The Minnesota Vikings in the focus of two-a-days. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
At Dick's Sporting Goods, we have always believed sport has the power to change lives. Community happens here. Change happens here. Sport happens here. Introducing the all-new Dick's House of Sport, bringing new experiences, new services, and unrivaled selection from the top brands to a new place Polaris can call home. Featuring a rock wall, a HitTrax multi-sport cage, and 3 golf hitting bays. Dick's House of Sport at Polaris Fashion Place. Grand opening celebration August 15th through August 17th.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and I want to talk to you about the roof over your head. You know that thing that protects your house and everything in it? It's pretty important, and a lot of you are going to have to replace it soon, but be warned. There are companies out there that skip over the biggest part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if that attic doesn't have proper circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and rot. You got rot, and not to mention leaks in the wintertime and higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I'm telling you about my guys at Victor's Home Solutions. They start with a free 21-point roof inspection, including a thorough inspection of that attic as well. They know that if that ventilation isn't right, that roof's going to be built on a shaky foundation. That's why every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are also available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and get that estimate today. 866-VICTORS or go to victors.com.
Cash for Clunkers continues during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for Clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, we'll close out the NFC North with the Vikings of Minnesota. I was the day they were at it was a joint practice up in Cleveland. The Vikings were in Cleveland for joint practices last year, and the morning before the first practice is when the news broke that J.J. McCarthy was going to be done for the year. And Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, who came up with the Browns and is the general manager of the Vikings now, was incredibly matter-of-fact and I thought relatively calm, despite the fact that his prized rookie was going to be lost for the season. And the reason that he was is they really believed in Sam Darnold. They did. And Sam Darnold backed up that belief. It's all on J.J. McCarthy now. When you look at this roster, that's it. If he's good, they're good. They won 14 games a year ago. This is the stat line for Darnold. Now, you tell me if you think McCarthy can match this. 66% completions, 43-19, 8 yards an attempt, 35 touchdowns, 12 picks, a rating of 102.5.
No.
I mean, Kevin O'Connell might be the best offensive coach in all of football. That is a stunning year for Darnold. Stunning. It's all on JJ, though, and no one's seen him play in 2 years. And I'm looking forward to talking to our guest at 11 o'clock in terms of what he is hearing about McCarthy and if he's ready for this.
Is there going to be any preseason action for JJ?
He didn't play in week 1.
It would feel like that's when you would want... I'm looking right now. He was 4 of 7 for 30 yards in their first preseason game.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
But
okay.
I guess he did it in a vacuum because I didn't hear about it either. You know, I could have told you more about what Quinn Ewers did and what J.J. McCarthy did. So if they're able to ramp him up a little bit more, but to match what Darnold did Darnold feels like that was a unicorn season. Man.
It came out of nowhere. It absolutely came out of nowhere, Reese.
Helps to have Justin Jefferson, best receiver in the game.
Yeah. Best coach, probably one on a short list of best game planners, one of the best offensive coaches, and then the weapons. Now, Addison's going to start the year down. He's injured, so that will hurt them tremendously, but they still do have if not the 1A best receiver in football. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, they go hand in hand at the top of that list. And the start to Jefferson's career is truly a thing to behold. When you think about what he's done already in his career, last year it's 103 for 1533 and 10. He's going into his 6th season out of LSU. Here are his catch numbers by year: 88, 108, 128, 68, 103. Yardage, 1,400, 1,616, 1,809, 1,074 in just 10 games, and 1,533. He's got 40 touchdowns in 5 years, guys. This is as good a start to a receiving career as you're going to see.
It's decent.
Yeah. They know receivers up there. They'll find them, they'll track them, and then they'll put them in a spot. I like this team a lot, but I just don't know what J.J. McCarthy is yet. Nobody does. They do. They could have kept Darnold. They could have brought in a veteran to compete and bring J.J. along slowly. They're throwing him into the fire, and we'll see how it goes. So it's a big bet on him because everything else is pretty good with this roster, Big.
You don't like Sam Howell? You're pretty good the other night. 11-13.
He's the king of preseason.
105. Just saying. Maybe
he was good at Carolina.
Maybe he could be this year's Sam Darnold.
Good player at Carolina. Fantasy sleeper for the Vikings. Who do you got, Bake?
To me, it's the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. I don't think anybody's going out and drafting J.J. to be their first-round pick, but with the talent around him and Kevin O'Connell, and also his ability to keep plays alive with his legs, which is what killed Ohio State, I believe, especially in his last season when that team up north won the national championship. And then if he has to, he can pull it and run as well. So I think J.J. McCarthy, by the end of the year, is a guy that if your quarterback gets hurt, you could pick up and be just fine.
I had McCarthy written down as well. Vikings have a week 6 bye after 2 weeks overseas. They've got a game week 4 in Dublin, taking on the Steelers. And then week 5, they're playing the Browns at Hotspur Stadium. I mean, you got, of the first 5 games, 3 teams with defenses at the bottom of the barrel or worse than the Steelers. So I don't know what the hell J.J. McCarthy's going to be. I don't think it's fair that anybody does, but if he can navigate through that and they come back week 7 taking on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
So, boy, this will be exciting. I think interesting for most NFL fans to see what the Vikings become.
I think you're betting as much on McCarthy as you are O'Connell, and I bet on O'Connell. Like, I think he'll put him in position. I think they'll use his legs a little bit too. Yeah, I think he's the one. Everybody else you know about. There's nothing on this roster that's too shocking. They have some absolute studs on the roster. You could see some receivers are going to have to step up opposite Jefferson until Addison gets back, so that's something to watch for as well. Do they have the right quarterback, Vic?
I mean, this is incomplete, right? Because we just don't know. We can have a feeling one way or the other. Like I tend to be a believer in J.J. McCarthy from what I saw in him on the field, but I know a lot of people are not believers in him. But the fact is, none of us know.
No.
Yeah, nobody could. I don't think anybody should. If they do, shame on them for telling you they have an idea what J.J. McCarthy's going to be this year.
Yeah, it's incomplete, obviously. I wasn't as high on him coming out of Michigan as some, but we'll see. So this is one of the biggest, like, swinging. The pendulum can swing one way based on how he is. If he's really good, they can be right back in the mix. If he struggles in year 1, then I could see this team missing the playoffs entirely and the Bears passing them. Coolest player to ever wear the beautiful purple and gold.
I mean, there's so many ways I could go here. Randall Cunningham, Chris Carter, Dante Culpepper. I mean, so many cool Vikings over the years. But there's only one answer. It's Randy Moss. Come on.
I mean, he did pull his pants down in he mimicked pulling his pants down in a touchdown celebration.
Don't say that to Joe Buck. He will get upset.
That was my favorite part of that whole thing because of how mad it made Joe Buck. Like, he'd never seen anything so insulting in his life. It's like, come on, man. It isn't that serious. They did just put Jared Allen in the Hall of Fame, and he was pretty cool.
John Randall was really cool, too.
Well, it's a great one.
He was really cool. John Randall, Chris Dolman, Keith Millard. Rothman's so excited right now talking about these legendary Vikings. I'll tell you, it's Randy, though, and we just had never seen anything like Randy's rookie year. You never saw something. I mean, he was the epitome of blanket Randy down there somewhere. That's where that came from. Is that.
If we did a Mount Rushmore of cool NFL players of all time, like, he's in the running and probably on it, right?
Yeah, he would be. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, let's not overthink it. That's the answer. What is this team this year, Bake?
So I think, obviously, it's JJ's first year, and I'm a believer in him, but I don't know if we'll see exactly what they got from Sam Darnold last year, and they may not sling it around as much, quite frankly. They may run the ball a little more this year with JJ. So I think they take a slight step back, but I still think they're in the mix for a playoff spot in the NFC, and I've got them about 10-7.
That's what I had as well. I mean, this season strikes me as they could go 4-1, before they come back from the bye and then get punched in the face by the AFC North and the NFC North. Even 9-8, I think would be good enough in the NFC to get you into the playoffs. But I think this is a successful year one for JJ McCarthy in Minnesota.
It feels like they're going to be right on the line. There's no question to me they take a step back. I just don't know that you're going to mimic that quarterback play you got out of Darnold last year. So I think they take a little step back, but I think they'll be right in the mix. There's not much There's not much of a difference between them and the Packers and the Bears. Like, I think all of them look like they have a lot of talent. I mean, Williams, there's a ton of questions, but there should be the same questions about JJ. Those questions should apply to him as well. And when I look at the overall rosters, I think I might like Chicago's a little bit better. But it's a bet on McCarthy and O'Connell versus the Bears situation. So that's the one.
And I like O'Connell. Ben Johnson's good, but we've never seen him do it before. I like O'Connell, and we don't talk about Brian Flores enough, I don't think. That's two really good coaches.
Yeah, their offense and defensive mix is probably as good as there is in the league. Franchise grade for the Vikings, Bake.
So I have a B+ written down. This is a team that I feel like, for the most part in my lifetime, has always kind of been in the mix. They've gone to 4 Super Bowls, but they've never won one, so you can't give them an A.
Yeah, I haven't been to one in a long time. I'm in the 70s. It's been a long time.
I got them a B+. They are one Brett Favre pass away from, I think, being an A-.
Oh, dude, they're a Gary Anderson kick.
Yes, yeah. That's the biggest.
15-1. They are 15-1. They are at home. He hadn't missed all year. It's just stupefying.
That team was so good.
That team was. Robert Smith was unbelievable. Those receivers, they were just ridiculous. I think it's a B. I think that they're above average. They've always been in the mix. They've always been very good. They have an awesome fan base. Colors are cool. Stadium's awesome. I'm talking maybe more like B+. Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great place. It's a great place. It's just they just haven't gotten that ultimate success yet and haven't really sniffed it in quite a while in terms of playing for Super Bowls. We'll hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
Parents, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're listening.
Yeah. Are your teens good with money?
She's a good kid.
She's the
but
best,
yeah.
I get it. Switch to Huntington Bank, and your teen debit card can really help.
Oh?
You can set spending limits, and your kid can track budgets, so they learn that money doesn't, in fact, grow on trees.
I think we need this.
Sounds good, yeah. We feel you, parents. Let's get more from teen banking. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Common Man here. I want to tell you about my guy, Bob Capace, owner-operator of Worthington Jewelers for the past 25 years. If your only experience is going to the mall for jewelry, Bob and his team will blow you away. Service, quality, and a great price. The store is busy all the time because people keep coming back. True story. My 8-year-old daughter says to me, "When can we go see Mr. Capace again? He's nice." Yes, he's nice. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
Is your business craving efficiency? Is it hungry for productivity? Then there's a tech solution you should implement now if you want to crush your KPIs and you also want BLTs or burrito bowls or like bagels. It's called EasyCater, one platform for ordering food from a huge variety of restaurants for all your workplace needs. From falafel for the finance team to lasagna for the lunch and learn. Plus tools to help you save time and stay on budget. Ready to nail your deliverables? Order now at easycater.com.
Mira, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, flexible payment plans. Act now. Visit bluejackets.com/tickets.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Speaking after Patriots practice Saturday, wide receiver Kendrick Bourne received a compliment about his fashion and told reporters who's behind his game day outfits.
So my wife is actually my stylist. Shout out to my wife. She's going to love this. She puts it all together for me. So she's doing good. I don't know what she got ready for me, but we'll see.
So every outfit, she's the one who's...
Yeah, she's behind it all. She's behind it all.
Can you give her... Can I get a number? In a respectful way for the strictly wardrobe part of life.
Hold on, what you mean? Hold on, what is he asking? What are you asking?
He wants our business card.
Oh, business card. Her Instagram's Vanessa Bourne. Go check her out. She'll love. Yeah, I didn't know what Dan was saying, but no, she'll love that though. She'll love that. She does a good job though. She makes me look like a professional.
Thing or not a thing?
What was the guy asking the question going for? He was trying to be funny, like, yes. I want her number so that she can dress me.
Right.
Too.
Exactly. He needs some help.
That's pretty funny. That was executed pretty well by all involved. That's a funny thing. Good job out of everybody. And that's also, I mean, as playful, I would bet anything that's somebody who's on the beat. So it's probably someone that Kendrick knows well, and you can have a little laugh about it. That's why when you have somebody on a beat, that's the relationships that you can cultivate. So that's a cool thing. Good job.
Yeah, it's a real funny thing. And as you said, Bo, that's one of the great things about being somewhere where you cover a team all the time and the people get to know you and the athletes get to know you. You can have those moments. And that's not only how you get things from people that maybe you wouldn't normally get, and it helps you out in your career, but you also get those funny little moments like that.
Also over the weekend, friend of the program, Paul Feinbaum, joined the Netflix Sports Club and was asked if an SEC team will win the college football national championship.
It is. And by the way, if it's not, I'm leaving the country because I am so sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans on our show. The Big Ten has literally done nothing. They won 2 national championships. Michigan won one 2 years ago. They've won 1.5 national championships, I think, and before that in 70 years, and they act like they invented football. Alabama has won about 15 national championships in my lifetime. Now, I realize that's not a good comparison to a realistic lifespan, but I believe Texas is going to win. I didn't mean to avoid your question. It's going to end all this, and on January 20th, I'll be the happiest man in America because I won't have to listen to the Big Tenors, or as my callers call them, the Little Tenors.
Thing or not a thing?
First of all, what was the name of this thing? Netflix Sports Club? What is that?
It is a Netflix sports video podcast.
Live, and so it's live. He has made no bones about his distaste for Michigan and arrogance and Harbaugh and all of that. He's usually quick on our show to separate Ohio State from the rest of the Big Ten. He's usually makes a pretty good point to do that. I'll ask him about this Thursday when he joins us at 10:30. But I also think that here's what you have to remember about this is one of the beautiful things about college football. Our teams down here are better than your teams up there. And for the longest time, there was no way of proving it. And now there is. Now it plays out on the field. In the last 2 years that we've had, the 2 years we've had a 12-team playoff, the national champions have been from up here. So that eats at them, all of them, a little bit. And they do want it to end in the worst way because they had a run. And I'll give Doug Maurice a lot of credit for this. He's the first person I heard say this. Ohio State doesn't have an SEC problem. They had an Alabama. They had a Nick Saban problem. Well, Nick Saban is gone. He's gone. And so is that dominance that was with him. They got a bunch of good teams down there, for sure. But there's a bunch of good teams up here, too. And the two conferences at the top have never been more closely aligned than they are right now.
I'll be quick to point out to Mr. Feinbaum that football was invented at Big Ten Power Rutgers. So there, we did invent football, did the Big Ten. Listen, Paul would be an ultimate wrestling heel manager. Yeah. Like he is. People can say what they want about Paul, and he riles people up around here. But he is a true professional. Like he gets it, and he knows like. You got to have somebody listen to you because they hate you just as much as they like you. And he has leaned into the SEC and the South and forget the Big Ten. And I think he does have a distaste for Michigan, right? I think that's real. Yeah. Like, he doesn't like what happened there. He doesn't like Harbaugh. He doesn't like the Michigan man. And he has just leaned into his character so well, and good for him, and I think it's so funny to listen to him sometimes.
Yeah, to his point, nobody likes the Michigan man, and also when he says I'm so sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans on our show, he's absolutely not sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans on his show, because those Big Ten fans, even Tim May, when they come on, they rile up the SEC fans, and all of it becomes tremendous content. That you can do it in June, you can do it in April, you can do it in May, and you have nothing else. You just have to come in and at a break.
Yep.
He was asked if an SEC team would win the national championship this year, and we got
you
that.
Teed off you put the ball perfectly on the tee for Paul, and he does a great job in knowing who's listening and knowing that people are listening at all times, both from the North and the South. Eagles Pro Bowl left guard Landon Dickerson was helped off the field and rode a cart indoors after suffering an apparent right leg injury during their open practice Sunday night. Dickerson's expected to undergo an MRI this morning. That's according to Adam Schefter. The injury occurred late in the 2+ hour practice at Lincoln Financial Field. Dickerson's one of 5 guards who made the Pro Bowl every year since 2022, along with Joel Bitonio, Chris Lindstrom of the Falcons, Quentin Nelson of the Colts, and Bears' Joe Tooney. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it's a massive thing. He's one of the stalwarts of their offensive line. Remember, they lost Jason Kelsey last year, so it was Landon Dickerson this year. Also, Mekhi Becton, who was on their line. He's no longer with them. So, look, to win a Super Bowl, you need health, you need luck, you need about 1 billion different things, and this is a massive blow for them out of the gates.
Yeah, this is if this is something long term,
Yeah.
This is a huge thing. Hopefully it isn't for the Eagles and Landon Dickerson. And this just goes back to my point, like, let guys play in the preseason. Who cares? Because they got to get reps, meaningful reps somehow, and they're doing that more so in practice now, and you can still get hurt just as easily then as you can in a preseason game.
You can't safeguard football is the answer. You just can't. Like, catastrophic injuries are going to happen. It's a collision sport. Final hour of the program. We anticipate Ryan Day at the podium around 11:15, 11:20. We will take you there live when it happens. Between now and then, we close up the NFC North with Luke Braun, host of Locked On Minnesota Vikings. What has he seen from J.J. McCarthy? Is he ready to back up the year that Sam Darnold had for the Purple People Eaters? That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of the things we constantly hear from customers, Wilson, it's impossible to pick a favorite. We've got 5 different window lines here at Pella, for the $300,000 to the $3 million home.
Yep, impossible to pick a favorite. My parents would always say that.
Oh, Wilson, that's so sweet.
Yeah, other than I'm an only child.
Oh. Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When was the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without groaning step by step? Hey, that was me. And I had to deal with that from all the years of playing football. But I went and saw my friends over at QC Kinetics, and it disappeared. I didn't have to tough it out anymore. Call over QC Kinetics with Dr. Wolkoff and get your free consultation. It's regenerative medicine, folks. There are thousands of patients who will tell you that they wish they would have done it sooner, just like I did. I'm glad I did, and my experience was tremendous. You go in, you have a consult, they lay out the plan, they talk about it. It's no pills, it's no scalpels. It's just your own body's biologics treating you and helping heal you. So find out if you're a good candidate. Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices all around Central Ohio, so be sure to go and check them out.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward, and I'm coming up on 2 full years since starting Awaken 180. Dropped 50 pounds, and I still check the scale like it owes me money. Guess what? Hasn't budged. Still under 200 pounds, still feeling great. Keeping weight off this long isn't luck or magic, it's just having the right playbook. Awaken 180 taught me exactly what works, what doesn't, and how to stay lean without the struggle. Want real, lasting results? Don't just drop the weight, retire it for good. Trust me, Awaken 180 is your winning game plan. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The football Buckeyes have 19 days until top-ranked Texas comes to town. The second-ranked Buckeyes are wrapping up practice number 10 over the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Head coach Ryan Day will meet with the media sometime in the next hour. We'll carry his comments live on the Fan when he hits the podium. The Associated Press will unveil their preseason top 25 shortly after noon today. In baseball, the Reds split a weekend series with the Pirates. That was over the weekend in Pittsburgh, taking 2 of the 4 games. Cincinnati won the finale Sunday 14-8. Redlegs enter the week a game and a half out of an NL wildcard spot. Cincinnati hosts Philadelphia tonight at 6:40. You can hear that game on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. As for the Guardians, Cleveland enters the week a half game back of the AL wildcard. They'll have the night off, but Cleveland will host the Miami Marlins on Tuesday. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Monday. As Reese just mentioned there in the update, Ryan Day is going to be at the podium here in the next 15 minutes or so. We will take it live when that happens. Time to close out 2-a-days in the NFC North and the Minnesota Vikings. For that, we head out on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Luke Braun joins us, host of Locked On Minnesota Vikings. Luke, thank you so much for taking the time. Let's just start here because I'm guessing this is the question for everybody up there, which is this. What do you think you're going to get from J.J. McCarthy this year at quarterback?
Isn't that the question? I think the whole season kind of rides on it.
Yeah.
Look, he's a second-year quarterback. He didn't have a first year. Tore his meniscus. He gets hurt. Everything we have seen in camp has been good. He hasn't been perfect. There's been some misses here and there. We kind of saw it in the preseason. He sailed one over those guys' head. There was one that was complete but a little behind him, but it was good. He had a lot of poise. He's been taking that kind of leadership role on the way that the team really wants him to. But you kind of expect some young QB growing pains in his first year, right? There's some welcome to the NFL kind of moments, and you hope that he can learn from that stuff. So in terms of the expectation, you can define it in a bunch of ways. But I kind of just am hoping that he looks the part, and whether or not they win a bunch of games this year, I can kind of chalk it up to transition and, young QB stuff. But he's surrounded by so much talent that he doesn't really have to be the best dude. He can be a top 16 quarterback and get top 8 stats.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I went over like the Darnold stats last year, and I was, when the Vikings were in Cleveland last year and they found out about JJ and the joint practices, and we had Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah on the show that I host, and I knew him from his time with the Browns, and they were, despite the catastrophe, or so it seemed, pretty calm with the fact that it was going to be Darnold and kind of just next man up. And then Darnold had this magical season. And I think this ties into JJ. And I'm curious, as you've observed Kevin O'Connell the last couple of years, what is it that makes him so special when it comes to offense and specifically quarterbacks?
Well, he was a quarterback, so he understands it. I think he has a really important patience. I think some of these football coaches, you mess up once, you're going to light them up. You're ready to start getting, You're ready to start firing guys. You're ready to start, looking on the trade market, see who you can get to replace this idiot that doesn't do what I say. And I think Kevin O'Connell has a patience and a really, secure sense of expectation. He knows exactly what he wants, and he doesn't suddenly start expecting more of you once we get onto the field. But also he knows how to speak the language of a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's different than we come off of Mike Zimmer, who didn't really care for quarterbacks. He was a defensive guy. He liked to kill quarterbacks. And I think he's really good at understanding exactly what your skill set is and what you're good at. What drop depth are you comfortable at? What timing are you comfortable with? What areas of the field are you comfortable throwing to? Not just, deep to intermediate to short, but to your left, to your right, to your dominant, non-dominant. Do you like to roll out to your left and throw that way? Do you like to roll out to your right and throw that way? Are you good at all that stuff? Can you read fast stuff? Can you, hang out in the pocket by the time that you need to buy? Darnold was great at that. For a longer developing player, should everything be really, really quick? If you're somebody like that was what he tried to do with Jaren Hall when they started him for a half, it was a terrible idea. But he really tailors everything to your skill set. And I think he's a guy that everybody likes to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's abundantly clear that he does. If JJ plays the way that they believe he will play, where are the other questions, if any, on this operation in this roster?
Yeah, so offensively, it's really complete. You got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, he's suspended for a couple games, but they've also got TJ Hawkinson. They've got this trio of pass catchers, this revamped O-line everybody's excited about. It's defensively, the third year of the Brian Flores operation looks like it's going to be really similar to the first 2 years, which is good, but solvable if you had the right kind of team. And I think one of those teams is actually in your state, the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm really worried about that Week 3 matchup because they're the kind of team that can beat a blitz, get the ball out quickly without truncating their offense. It's cornerback. The question mark is cornerback. Right now, Byron Murphy, good player. Love him. Not a question. But after him, next guy is Isaiah Rodgers, who's never been a full-time starter. Jeff Okudah, who has been a full-time starter, but we all know how that went. I'm sure you guys love him. Hasn't had the best NFL career.
No, he's not. Yeah.
And Mekhi Blackman out of USC, who seems to be losing that job to Jeff Okudah right now. It's like Reclamation Project City again. Last year it was Shaq Griffin and a geriatric Stephon Gilmore. And when the Vikings zone was getting picked apart by Jared Goff or Matt Stafford, and I think Joe Burrow could do this as well for them, they couldn't switch to man-to-man coverage and, press and try to disrupt some rhythms and see if you can't buy a little more time for the blitz to get home. They couldn't do that because they couldn't trust their corners in man coverage. I don't know if that problem is solved. That's going to be my big question. When your zone isn't working, and someone's going to crack the code, when the zone isn't working, what's your counterpunch coverage-wise? I don't know if they have it.
How do you see this division top to bottom? It might be the best in all of football.
It very well might be. It probably was last year. These things don't tend to repeat themselves, so something is going to change with our perception. And I think everybody's got a challenge. So I think the name of the game is who can overcome their personal stuff. A lot of times these divisional matchups is like, all right, who can figure out Patrick Mahomes? But I think it's all really internal with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Can the Packers figure out the drops thing? Can the Lions overcome the brain drain that they had? And can they overcome the loss of a couple of those O-linemen, Frank Ragnow, the guard? They've made a switch at guard. Can the Bears figure out what's going on with Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson? Can that marriage work out? It's kind of an ugly camp, and there's been friction with Ben Johnson kind of installing a new culture that Chicago's not used to. Can they figure out how to make that, smooth sailing? Can the Vikings get what they need to get out of J.J. McCarthy. Whoever answers that question wins the division. Personally, I might give you the lame answer and say the same thing will happen again, which is the Lions. I still think Jared Goff is really good, and it's kind of going to be them until someone else proves it. But I do think the Vikings are the next best team there. I think the Packers have more problems than they're willing to admit, and I think the Bears have more problems than they're willing to admit.
It's going to be a fascinating, competitive division. Enjoy the ride, buddy. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right, there he goes. Luke Braun, host of Locked On Minnesota Vikings. Was he in a construction site, walking the streets of Minneapolis, walking to the facility? The facility's out near Mall of America, I think. There was a lot of traffic.
Maybe driving in the car and just
windows down.
I don't know.
Convertible, maybe?
Or maybe he's just sitting on a park bench.
No, he definitely wasn't. He was walking. He was walking for sure. He was navigating things, is what it seemed like to be. Yeah, guys, I come away from the North with Detroit at the top, despite the coordinator losses and Ragnow. I still think Detroit at the top. This Minnesota, what he said there at the end, like which teams can overcome their demons a little bit. Can JJ be what they drafted him to be? Can the Green Bay Packers receivers be what they were drafted to be? Can Caleb Williams be what he was drafted to be? Whatever one of those questions gets answers emphatically yes, that's the team that's going to be right there challenging Detroit. Because Detroit's questions to me are less than the rest of these teams' questions. They still have everything else that you need. We anticipate Ryan could reach the podium any minute now. We'll take you there live. Could be a quarterback decision. I'm thinking probably not, but could be. Looking forward to hearing his thoughts on that when we take him live. Ryan Day could be at the podium on the other side of this quick timeout. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Got a less than stellar auto loan? It's time to switch and save with CME. CME wants to beat your current rate by 1.5% APR. Plus, you won't make a single payment for 90 days. That's 3 whole months with no car payment and a better rate for the long haul. It's fast, easy, and smart. Refinance with CME today. Terms and conditions apply. Minimum floor rate of 4.99% APR. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days. Deferred payment. Interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit. Expires 8/31.
All the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, you might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hot and humid for us again today. We will see a few stray showers and storms out there, although most of central Ohio will remain dry with our afternoon highs getting into the low 90s. For tonight, mostly clear skies with lows in the 70s. And then for Tuesday, we'll see plenty of sunshine with, again, some isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. And our highs remain in the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 Weather Impact forecast.
The two most mature people working at the radio station, and that's just because they wear pants. The pervert and the skivvies. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, practice wrapping up on campus. Ryan Day expected the podium here in the next 10. Could happen in the next couple of minutes. Could happen in the next 10. When he does go live, we will take it for you. I don't anticipate a quarterback announcement today. I think if you just, as Austin and I were talking about in the first hour, if you just go to the kind of historical markers for what Ryan's looking for, it's usually after the second scrimmage is kind of the one, and that's one set for Saturday. I think he likes playing these guys against each other. He's done it even in instances where he didn't really have a competition. I mentioned Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud, so I think he likes keeping the pressure on whichever guy is going to be the presumptive starter as long as possible, even when it is known in the building or known in the staff. Not to suggest that's the case here, but I think the longer he can keep the pressure on, the more he prefers it.
Yeah, and they'll have a similar schedule for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of this coming week and the next. So this time next week, I think will likely be the date or the time or the place you hear Ohio State's going to be starting against Texas. I mean, certainly nothing that you want to wait on, but I do think you have a couple of days here to kind of just finalize it. Like just a couple of fine-tuned things, and then if you're putting them at the shoe for a scrimmage on Saturday, you can kind of see who's able to, if there needs to be any final separation done for this job. But, yeah, I'm also interested in who asks and how they ask it. Like, do we get a, hey, who's the backup? Or how do these guys look on Saturday? I think it was Biddle who did the backup question.
Who's the backup? Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, look, you guys have had to make big-time decisions in your lives, right? Anybody out there listening has had to make big-time decisions in your lives. And when you're set up to make that decision, you have preconceived notions that you have to fight one way or the other, either positively or negatively. And then even if you set a deadline of like, I want the decision made by then, you probably have a pretty good idea in the lead up to decision day. And my hunch is, I mean, we're going on 3 weeks of camp. You're going on an entire off season of knowing. You're talking about spring football knowing. You're talking about through summer workouts knowing. And so you have a lot of time to kind of figure out what these two guys are. And this one is, I was trying to think if there was one that was similar to, probably the most similar to this, and I think both of these guys maybe have a little bit of a higher ceiling talent-wise than the two guys I'm about ready to mention. Although I guess Kyle McCord was a 5-star and he's in the league. But it reminds me a little bit of the McCord-Brown conversation in that McCord was a pocket-first elite thrower of the football, and there's a choice with that. And Brown was a little bit more in the Will Howard mold. He was a little bit more of a scrapper, a little bit more of a, let me see what I can do with my feet, my arms, with all of it. So that's the one that's most similar to this. I do think it's important that they name one sooner rather than later. I think it's really important that whichever quarterback goes into that game against Texas in now 19 days feels 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and that the entire roster, the room, all of it, coaching staff, everybody's got my back. Everybody believes in me, because I don't think you can go into that game looking over your shoulder. And even if that's something that is perceived looking over your shoulder, sometimes perception becomes reality. So I think they need to get all in behind somebody sooner rather than later. I don't think it'll happen today, but my hunch is by next week you will.
I think it's so interesting that 20 years ago, and I know it wasn't the week 1 game, but it was week 2, I believe, you had Ohio State versus Texas in the shoe, and you had an Ohio State quarterback battle, and you saw both Justin Zwick and Troy Smith in that game. It was kind of similar. Like, maybe Justin's more of the pure passer, Troy's a little bit better of an athlete, and we came out of that game with our answer, right? It was Troy's team after that, and maybe it wasn't Justin Zwick's fault. Maybe if Ryan Hamby catches that pass in the end zone, things are different. Who knows?
Zwicky's my guy, man. Like,
but
the damn right.
But Troy took over, and then Troy had maybe one of the best careers as an Ohio State quarterback. I think he's the best Ohio State quarterback I've seen ever here as a Buckeye. And it's just so interesting, the parallels. And, like, James was in that game. James is on the staff now. It's all very interesting to me how it's kind of come full circle.
Well, we rarely have these too either, right? I mean, we have it every year here because this is how Ryan sets it up, but sometimes it doesn't feel real. Like last year, really? No. Are they really not going to play Will Howard? Like, come on. Like, that was kind of crazy. Same thing with CJ. Like, CJ was not going to lose to a true freshman. Like, what are we talking about? And same thing with Justin Fields. That was probably the most farcical, was 19 with Justin Fields. Like, well, he's competing. Well, who the hell's he competing against? Tate Martell? He was gone. I mean, who was even left? I don't even remember who that room was in 19 with Justin Fields. So, yeah, I mean, some of these are real and some of these are a little bit manufactured. This one feels very real, but it's a very distinct choice you're making on style. And I think that's the thing that they have to kind of wrap their head around. What stylistically do we want this team to be?
How dare you besmirch Chris Chugunov like that?
That's who it was.
Yeah, every 5 years you get one legitimate, I think.
Yeah. Was that who it was? Chris Chugunov?
I think, wasn't it Chugunov and Gunnar Hoke?
That sounds right.
That's right. He was a local kid, right?
Yeah, Kaufman kid. Went to Kentucky.
We'll have the AP Top 25 coming out after our show, which, thanks a lot, Associated Press pollsters. But how different do we think their top 5 will be to the coaches?
Not much.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think the 1 and 2 could be inverted. Right, I could see them having Ohio State 1. I wouldn't have. This isn't popular around here. I wouldn't have Ohio State or Texas number 1 because neither one has a returning quarterback. So to me, it would be, if I were doing it, I would say Clemson and Penn State would be 1 and 2. But selfishly, I want number 1 versus number 2. So I'm hoping that they do what everybody else is doing and just going with Longhorns and Buckeyes because I want it to be number 1 versus number 2 unanimous. So I could see it being inverted. There's a lot of juice for Texas right now. It's a lot. And they lost a ton of guys, and it's a big bet on Arch. I mean, there's never been a bigger bet than the bet that's on Arch Manning.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, if you look at the votes, right? Texas got 28, Ohio State 20, Penn State 14. Is if we're somewhere, keep Texas at the top, and then Penn State gets 1 or 2 more AP voters to say they're the number 1 team, that it moves like Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, or Texas, Penn State, Clemson. And then Ohio State. I'm looking at the coaches. Like, it's pretty wild that they have, like, LSU that low. They had them 9. Like, Nussmeier's back. He threw for 4,000 yards. They have a lot of talent back on that team. They have them behind Alabama and Oregon.
I think Penn State probably ought to be elevated a little bit. I think some of these teams have massive question marks. This one included.
For sure. This one.
A lot of guys. There just isn't, is Gunnar Stockton? Is that enough at Georgia? Sitting there at number 4, is that enough? Like, it's a lot of faith in C.J. Carr at Notre Dame. No one's seen C.J. Carr play. We have no idea what he can be. And that same thing, like Ty Simpson at Alabama, I don't know. Moore's been at Oregon for a while. I mean, and by the way, he started in the Pac-12 when he was at UCLA, so he's played, and then he sat all of last year. Like, Oregon looks to me like with him coming back, that's not starting over at quarterback. Like, he's played.
Yeah, for everybody in this top 10, even I don't know. I go to the top 25. Who knows who's doing what? Like Tennessee, would they have been a top 10 team with Nico?
Yeah, for sure they would have.
Is Florida deserving of the 17th spot on the coaches poll with a quarterback who everybody thinks is incredibly talented, but how'd they fare last season?
All right, we're going to work in a quick break here. Lots of questions around the country, lots of questions with this Ohio State team. We're going to get Ryan Day's thoughts on his team. That is going to come up in a couple of minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big summer savings at Logan Services. Take up to 50% off an air conditioner with the purchase of a furnace. Why wait? Get a free estimate on Trane because it's hard to stop a Trane. A system for every home and budget. Logan Services.
When was the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without having to take your time? You thought to yourself, I'll just tough it out. But nothing changes. Hi, it's Tyvis Powell. It's time to call and schedule that free consultation with Dr. Walkoff and his team at QC Kinetics here in Columbus. I'm glad I did. Myself and others have turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies. No scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. Check it out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. Bring your x-rays and MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free, no-pressure chat and thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Win big at Eldorado Scioto Downs, your Caesars Rewards hotspot. Play over 1,700 hot games. Sip craft brews at Brew Brothers. And dine at Guy Fieri's Trattoria with its famous 68-layer lasagna. Enjoy live music at Vail Bar and harness racing now through September. Experience nonstop thrills where rewards never stop. Must be 21 plus to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, indeed you are. Anticipate Ryan Day at the podium here any minute up on campus as the Buckeyes finished up their most recent practice. The schedule this week will be similar. It'll culminate with a scrimmage on Saturday, the way that it did this past week. This is the first time Ryan spoke since the scrimmage on Saturday, so interesting to get his thoughts on that. Of course, all of the attention and eyes and thoughts are on the quarterback competition. It's one of those things that we've talked about ad nauseum. We've talked about it really all off season. It's absolutely a legitimate competition. Lincoln Kienholz has had moments. There's no question Julian Sayin has those as well. It's just a matter of choice and what you want the Buckeye offense to be, and what gives you the best. It's two things. Could it be two things too? Can it be what gives you the best chance to beat Texas and what gives you the best chance to be the best in November? Is it possible that that's the same player? Or is it a different player? Those are the type of things that they're weighing right now on campus, and it's Day and Fessler and obviously that Hartline are going through those conversations. They're having them on a daily basis. They're poring over all of it, and it's a massive decision. I always go back to what Tim May said when we were live that Friday of the open practices when he joined us, and he said that Julian Sayers is the most gifted thrower of the football he's ever seen at Ohio State. And then you start to think about what this offense is in terms of the strengths of this team. The pass catchers on this team are just legit. The receiving core is the best in the country. The tight end room might be the best in the country. You heard Austin. If you missed, you can get it wherever you get your podcast. We had him on in the first hour. He talked about Jelani Thurman. No one was anticipating that. All of a sudden, he's going to be a productive weapon. So you have that. What does the backfield look like behind him? Is this a roster that, as put together, is set up as a pass first, think C.J. Stroud type of offense, where you just spin it around to those talented weapons? I mean, Ryan Day looked at C.J. Stroud and he looked at Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and all of that talent, and he said, boy, this feels like this is kind of who we are. Let's live in this world. And they did, and they thrived. So I keep going back to that when I just think roster makeup. It feels like more of a Julian Sayin fit than a Lincoln fit, and that's not to take away from either one. It's just these are two ultra-talented kids competing for the same job, and only one can win it.
Yeah, it does feel this season I'm going to have to put DaBomb in a box, and I can't be resting on that gimmick because DaBomb's probably play one, or at least the thing that I hope Ryan Day comes out wanting to do against Texas is throw it all over the place. And while both quarterbacks we think can do that, it would feel like the favor goes to Julian just a little bit in being able to connect with all of those pass catchers in so many different dynamic ways. And then you talk about what the threats they have kind of underneath with the tight end room, that there's never been this much talent with those kinds of players, and Claire and Kesmerick and Thurman, who was a freak of nature athlete, and now feels like he's coming along a little bit more. Are you just pushing the ball down the field? And again, that would favor, I think, a little bit to Julian.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Adam King, I thought, made a really good point on Friday when he was filling in on Rothman and Ice.
Can't we just, next time, just say unnamed sportscaster from Channel 10, not Dom? Let's just do that.
Many are saying.
The guy that wants to have as good a hair as you two. But he said it's interesting that when we talk about Lincoln, all you hear is how athletic he is. And nobody ever talks about what makes Lincoln a good quarterback. And sure, athleticism is part of what makes Lincoln a good quarterback. But if we just wanted an athlete at quarterback, we'd throw Devin Sanchez or Caleb Downs or Jeremiah Smith back there. But this kid is actually a really good quarterback. And I thought it was interesting hearing Austin Ward earlier talking with you about the Joe Burrow and Dwayne Haskins. And, for that team, Dwayne Haskins may have been the better choice, but in the long run, Joe Burrow has ended up being the better quarterback in the NFL, and obviously we don't know what would have happened with Dwayne. I think that's another interesting aspect of this is they're not only choosing who's the better quarterback right now, but who's the better quarterback for this team.
It's also, at minimum, a 2-year decision.
Yeah, you're giving the guy the start and then the presumptive start in 26.
Of course, yeah. It's a 2-year decision.
Unless Lincoln got it and just lit the world on fire.
I guess. I suppose that would be the case if he went just nuts and was all of a sudden an NFL prospect and all of those things. But, typically you can kind of see those type of ascents coming. I suppose in that instance, but I think more realistically than not, it's kind of a 2-year decision. Look, you don't get offered a full scholarship at the University of Washington unless you can play. So Kalen DeBoer was at Washington. He saw Lincoln Kienholz out of South Dakota and said, this kid can play. He can play. And he got him committed. And Lincoln Kienholz, if Kalen DeBoer would have stayed at Washington, Lincoln Kienholz would have been the successor to Michael Penix Jr. That's the way it would have gone. So that's your sliding doors. You want a sliding doors? That's it. Is that he would have been the successor to Michael Penix last year at Washington had DeBoer stayed, had Ohio State not getting into the mix. And Ohio State got into the mix, if memory serves, I'm pretty sure it was because, I think this all lines up, this was the year that Quinn Ewers transferred because Quinn came a year early. They didn't think they needed another quarterback in the room because they already had him. They had Aaron Nolan behind that. And Lincoln popped in there. They got in on Lincoln late. He committed in December and got him in the mix. And then He finished his senior season. The rest is history. I think when Adam's talking about that in terms of like we don't talk about what he is as a quarterback, it's because no one's seen it. No one's seen it. He played one game, which was malfeasance.
Yeah, it was bad.
That he was in that game and so ill prepared. It's not his fault at all. No one holds that against him. But that's the only time we've seen him play. Last year we saw, this is the other part of it, and this goes to the preconceived notions part. Here's what we know. Julian Sayin showed up last year and immediately went ahead. He immediately was the third guy. Last year in the season, he was the third guy. So that happened right away. Now, did Keenholz make up that ground and pass it? Perhaps. There were moments in spring where it felt like maybe he passed it, and then Julian had the final say in this thing. But here's the thing that none of us know, and quite honestly, the only people who do know are in the building. What is happening at every one of those practices? We get such a small window into what is going on with and this is just the way college football is, and we're blessed to have what we have. You could be at Florida State where they don't have anything, but you're getting our glimpses are minuscule in comparison to the overall view that Ryan Day has. He sees all of it. He sees how are you in the rooms? How are you as a leader? How are you in the weight room? How are you with your teammates? Will people follow you? Or you Bo Callahan and no one goes to your birthday party? Like, that's the type of stuff that Ryan Day knows. We don't know that. We don't know that.
I reject the notion that we're overlooking Lincoln Keenholz or we're sleeping on Lincoln Keenholz. Like, he's in a quarterback battle at Ohio State.
I agree.
He's not being slept on. He's not being ignored. Every chance the coaching staff gets to talk about him, they gush about how good of an athlete he is at everything. Like, I think we're one Ryan Day press conference away from him being a Taekwondo world champion. These guys, they can throw a great football.
Point out of you.
The only reason you're in that the only way to get in that quarterback room is to be the best of the best of the best of the best, sir. And he's in a neck and neck quarterback competition, and all those intangibles that you mentioned are going to be the separators for this job.
It's a fantastic point out of you. For all of the talk about we don't talk about enough as a quarterback, it's not us who takes his handicap from a 6 to a 4 to a 1. It's not, we're not doing that. That's coaches doing that. It's talking about all of that. So coach is bringing some of that on himself when he talks about, how special of an athlete.
He's great. Yes, he should be. He wants to be Ohio State's quarterback.
Yeah. He's in the mix to be the Ohio State quarterback. Like, it's a pretty elite level of minimum threshold to get in the conversation. So, that's kind of where you stand with this thing. It starts to hit you when you think about the makeup offensively, though, that I just keep coming back to saying in that regard, because I just think this offense is built for kind of the ultimate point guard. And it's built for the C.J. Stroud type of quarterback. And that's kind of what Julian's makeup is. Now, we don't know what he's going to look like playing all the time either. That's the thing that makes this all so exciting. That's what makes college football this season so exciting. What are the known quantities? I mean, truly known. Like, the guys that you hear the most about positively are Klubnik, Aller, and Nussmeier. Give me Drew Aller's best game. Give me his best game. Is it Boise State?
Maybe.
SMU? He wasn't great against Notre Dame because those first-round draft picks to the Browns didn't last then. He wasn't great in the Buckeye game. Klubnik, his juice comes from the Texas game. A loss, mind you. But it was how he played in the loss that elevated him. Nussmeier was pretty good, but when's the last time LSU played a game that mattered in November? I mean, I'll wait.
Joe Burrow might have been quarterbacking that Tiger team.
It's been a minute.
Last season for Aller against Kent State, 309 and 3 touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns against West Virginia, 3 touchdowns against Purdue as well. 391, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, though, in the win over USC.
He was decent in the SC game, but had at least one stupefying interception I remember well. He hit Tyler Warren on an absolute seed. I remember that.
Only over 300, though, 2 times last year. Most of it's 220, 240, and that may not be his fault. That could be just the offense they were running. They've got 2 really good running backs, but it's hard to believe for me in Drew Aller.
No, that's what I'm saying. So even the guys you don't really. I mean, the game that Klubnik had, it's against Texas that gives him so much of the juice. He's 26 of 43, 336, 3 touchdowns and a pick, 60% completions. The week before against SMU in the ACC title game, he's 58%. Threw for 4 touchdowns, but 58%. He was not good in the loss to South Carolina. Like, I'm just saying, like, this is a wide open year in college football. Nobody really knows what to expect with any of these things.
That'll be so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be fun. And the reality is, and this is the other reason why this is such a massive decision for Ryan whenever he gets to it, is it's not just the quarterback for the Texas game. It's the quarterback. You want it to be the quarterback for the season. And as I mentioned, you want it to be the quarterback for 2 seasons. That's ideally what you do, because you don't want to be doing this again. You want somebody to win it. You want somebody to then take it, and you want the entire operation to believe completely in that player. That's the job. And then it sets up a transfer for the other one, and then who knows what happens. That's where you get that Burrow conversation where all of a sudden Joe Burrow is in this spot where it's LSU or Cincinnati because no one else was really in on him at that time. And he did the gutsiest thing you could do, and he went to the place where they just hadn't developed franchise NFL quarterbacks. He went to the complete unknown. He could have gone to Cincinnati and played for Luke. Everybody would have known that, but that's not what he did. He made the guts play, and he went to LSU, and the rest is history. Greatest single season probably in college football history. So you just don't know what's going to happen with these things. But you have a feeling that what this quarterback room looks like right now, it won't look like next spring. And so that's the gravity of this decision, is that. Now, the good news is all of them are going to be there this year. But then after that, who knows what's going to happen. All right, really anticipated that we would be able to get Ryan in. Looks like they're running a little late on campus. So we'll take a quick timeout. We got 3 things on a Monday, and if Ryan does come, we may be able to get a little bit for you on the other side of this quick timeout. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Ready? This Ohio State football training camp report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Weber Grills.
Ohio State football. Training camp report.
This report is brought to you statewide by Safelite Auto Glass and Bob's Discount Furniture. As Ohio State continues practice to get ready for 2025, radio analyst Jim Lachey talks about what he sees from the defensive line.
A lot of new faces up there for that defensive line. And when you look at defensive end this year, Kenyatta Jackson's been making a lot of noise throughout the spring. He looks like a defensive end, 6'5", almost 6'6", 260. He's got great speed, got great length. He's going to have to be a pass rusher. He's going to have to be a difference maker this year. Caden Curry, love his effort, love his hustle. Remember what he was able to do against Indiana, come up with a key, punt block. So he's contributed on special teams in a backup role. Inside, you're going to see Edric Houston, a guy that came in as a defensive end. More and more towards the end of the year was playing defensive tackle, so they feel like he can step up. Tywan Malone is another guy that, has it. And then hearing some good things about Will Smith Jr., who battled some injuries throughout early in his career, is now going to have to step up. Caden McDonald, man, that series he had against Penn State when he made all those stops.
We'll have more after this.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, flexible financing to fit your budget, and fast, friendly delivery. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com. Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
As we continue to focus on Ohio State's defense, analyst Jim Lachey talks about what to expect from linebackers Alvaro Reese and Sonny Styles.
Now it's his job, and boy, he looks the part. He's got great size, great athletic ability, and James Laurinaitis has done a good job. Now, on the other guy, at linebacker we've known, Sonny Styles. He's seems like he's been around here forever, but he's still 20 years old. He came in high school, started early out of Pickerington, and has been a fantastic football player. Last year really took that next step. Had over 100 tackles, and he's going to be a key guy. Him and Arvell inside are going to be probably two of the best linebackers that you're going to see throughout the Big Ten.
Season starts August 30th against Texas. This is Paul Keels on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We've had an incredible year, Buckeyes fans. It's time to celebrate the offseason with warmer weather, long nights, and incredible grilled food. Weber Grills has everything you need to have a winning summer. From our newest line of Spirit gas grills to our award-winning Searwood wood pellet and slate griddle grill, Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn more at Weber.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with the team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Vic, do we have Ryan for a couple minutes anyway?
Yeah, we do. We can go right
let's
into
dip
it
in.
here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that means you can do some things, but you're inconsistent. A pro does it the same way every single time, and that's the challenge. And we've seen guys flash. We need more consistency.
Go front and center, Ryan, in addition to leadership, we talked about Julian's leadership and having to grow in that respect that he has. In addition to that, where has he grown the most since last year, maybe even since the spring?
Decision making, command of the huddle, timing, anticipating as opposed to reacting. Just I think overall, just you feel like when somebody has taken a certain amount of reps, you want to see the progression and improvement. I think we're seeing that. And last year there were 5 quarterbacks, so those snaps got spread pretty thin. Now he and Lincoln are getting a lot of reps, and so they're improving. And that's, again, you talk about a pro or a player. A pro remembers because he's done it before. A player is learning, and I think for him, he's starting to remember more because he's done a good job of getting mental reps too, because he's getting those physical reps now. But last year there was so many mental reps. We had to sit in the back and watch Will and Dev. But this year he's getting the physical reps. But because he put those mental reps in on the front end, you're seeing growth from both guys.
Over to the right, Adam King.
Building off of that, how did they look last week? You called it moving week. Did you see any separation from the two guys?
There were positives on both ends. There were negatives on both ends. I won't, predict when we'll make this decision, but we're getting more and more information, that we need to make a decision. Where it's at now, we'll let it continue to play out.
All right, there you go. Ryan Day, still no quarterback decision there. A couple of questions about Julian, and then the question from the unnamed Channel 10 sports reporter who isn't Dom. Also with the question there that I thought made a lot of that's a great question Adam had, in all seriousness. Very good question. Like, did you see separation? Were there ups and downs? Yeah, both ups, both downs. We're not there yet. We'll see. So no quarterback today. No plume of smoke, as it were, coming out of the Woody. What do we have in the poll today, Reese?
The Daily Fan poll asks, as we're now under 3 weeks away from week 1 of the college football season, it asks, are you ready for it to be here? Yes? Yeah. No?
I think I am. I think I'm good. My kids are to the point where they need to go back to school, which starts next Monday. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're there. I think I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
When they go back to school, it will be week 0 for you. As Kansas State, Iowa State, I think, is next Saturday.
Is that our best one?
Yes. Well, of week 0 games.
Week 0, that's the best we can do. We're starving. Like, give us one great one. Hell, play Ohio State, Texas week 0.
But at night, though.
But at night, yeah. But at night. All right, 3 things on a Monday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, this just happened in the last couple of minutes, becoming official in the last couple of minutes. I'm trying to pour through it, but it appears that Fox and ESPN are going to partner together for that streaming service that we've talked about for the longest time. If that happens, all of the Power 4, this would be a massive win for Ohio State, the men's basketball, women's basketball, all of it. All of the Power 4 would be under one streaming service. So that's a massive win if that is indeed the way that it reads to me. So some big news in terms of how we consume our college athletics here in the last couple of minutes. So that could be a big one.
Speaking of big, over the weekend, the Mountain won his 12th Iceland's Strongest Man title. He delivered all 5 Atlas stones to their podium.
It's amazing.
It's a good job at him.
It's fantastic.
First thing out of me, this is how I spent my Sunday night. I put on the NFL Network and was watching kind of a replay of the Rams. And were they playing the Cowboys? Yeah, it was the Cowboys, because Joe Milton only knows how to throw a fastball. And they kept talking about that. And while I was doing that with that in the background, I was emailing 96 Central Ohio head high school football coaches. Man, that is a tedious process. Football season is officially here.
Next Friday?
Not this Friday, next Friday.
For high schools, okay.
Yes.
A lot of them did scrimmages this past weekend. They'll probably do some more this week.
Yeah.
And away we go. Here's example number 665 million, why our audience is the best total Buckeye move, has found Lincoln Kienholz's actual handicap, 2.7.
There we go.
The kid is a stick. It's amazing. He's just good at everything. It's crazy.
Probably dropped to about a 4 at the end of football season.
Yeah.
Won't have played for a while.
Isn't that wild? At 2.7, wins a home run derby against actual professional baseball players. Like, it's just crazy.
Now I want to give him a piece of wood and see here, Lincoln, chop this with your hand.
See if he can do it.
Second thing for me, we're going to have we're covering the Cowboys with Jess Heine of Blogging the Boys on Wednesday. That'll be our NFC East team. But I think CeeDee Lamb kind of gave you an indication of how this season's going to go when in their first playoff game, he's celebrating way too early, one of the other receivers catching a touchdown pass, and the umpire running down the sideline to try to track the ball runs him over.
I saw that.
Plowed him.
I think that's the microcosm for how things are going to go with the boys. But again, we'll get more on that team coming up Wednesday.
It doesn't feel good for them.
Come on.
No.
Well, while we've been talking here, I've just been kind of monitoring what Coach Day has said, and he was just asked a few minutes ago about the offensive line, and I feel like some interesting things he said there. He talked about Ethan Onyanwa getting some reps at guard. Tegra Shabola can kick out to tackle if they need him to. Philip Daniels and Austin Serveld kind of exclusively practicing at tackle. Padilla, Carson Hensman, Luke Montgomery, Gabe Van Sickle, all guys he mentioned getting reps on the inside as well. So we kind of thought we knew what was going to happen with this offensive line, and maybe we don't now.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's 19 days. We got to get some decisions here pretty quickly. Finally, number 3 for me, probably one of my favorite things to do all summer is Saturday nights or Sunday nights late, like 6 o'clock, like the boys and I will go play golf. And we had our best combined score, but probably the best all three of us have all played together in history yesterday. And we had a hole, this is the first time it's ever happened, where they got legitimate pars from playing from their tees, and I legitimately birdied. And so for us as a threesome to be 1 under collectively, that's never happened before. And at one point, Beamsy goes, Dad, I think this is the best we've all ever played. And I said, I think you're right, buddy. What a night. Always undefeated when you could spend some nights on the course with the boys.
It's a good job out of you being, I guess, the de facto swing approach life coach.
Yeah. That's right.
Adam Jardy put this to my attention. He covers the Buckeyes for the Columbus Dispatch, the basketball Buckeyes. And really the coolest thing about name, image, and likeness and deals that players are allowed to sign to give them money to help out for their communities. For the second straight year, Devin Royal hosted a backpack giveaway at a Pickerington Elementary School. Jardy adds, this year, though, the Buckeyes Junior was able to hand out even more, and the hope is to keep it rolling.
That's great.
Good job out of you, Devin.
Yep.
Final thing for me, Ryan Day actually just asked about the quarterbacks again and said they're trying to get them both ready to be able to play against Texas, and that they will need both of them at some point during this season. You can get more Coach Day reaction with Rothman and Ice coming up next.
You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
So we bought an actual shopping mall and put one of the largest Honda dealerships in the world inside of it. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. So it's big. We house about 150 to 200 cars indoors, lit, all unlocked, ready for you to be able to view and see. A fully tempered climate. Doesn't matter if it's raining outside, 10 below zero, super hot. There's real trees inside, and it's just a casual environment. And if you haven't seen it, it's really a cool story, not about its opulence. It's just a cool story to see what was a dilapidated old mall being reinvigorated into a pillar in the community that everybody benefits from.
This month at Lindsay Honda, our famous Cash for Clunkers continues during our Honda Summer event. Get up to $3,500 minimum for your trade and use it for a down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash. Only at Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Choose from payments as low as $99 a month or 12 months with no payments and no interest, plus a free in-home window and energy assessment. Restrictions apply. Give them a call, 614-502-5220.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
Donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
And we have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
We work to help your neighbors, the planet, and you.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward. When we say we want to lose weight, we mean fat, not muscle. New studies show up to 40% of the weight lost on the new meds is muscle, not fat. Keep your muscle. Lose the fat with Awaken 180. Awaken180weightloss.com.